Have you ever looked at others and wondered where they get their quiet strength? The steady, unshakable self-assurance that seems to light them up from the inside. Perhaps you've felt the sting of self-doubt, that creeping feeling that keeps you from speaking up, stepping forward, or embracing your full potential. It's a familiar struggle, isn't it? Feeling as though, despite all we've accomplished and all we're capable of, we are somehow not enough. But here's something powerful to hold on to. The confidence we seek isn't out of reach. It's not something to chase in others or a gift we must hope for. It's already within us, waiting to be nurtured, cultivated, and strengthened. Like any worthwhile journey, the path to true confidence takes time, intention, and guidance. Today, we turn to an ancient source of wisdom, a philosophy that goes beyond quick fixes or fleeting moments of assurance. This wisdom digs deep, touching the very essence of who you are and transforming how you see yourself and the world around you. This philosophy speaks to our universal longing for a sense of worth, clarity, and a confidence so deeply rooted that it remains steadfast through life's storms. For centuries, it has guided people to stand tall, no matter their circumstances. Here's the truth. Self-doubt doesn't vanish on its own. It's a shadow that needs to be faced, not ignored. Accomplishments, social approval, or fleeting moments of success won't chase it away. Real confidence doesn't depend on external applause or temporary highs. It's something deeper, a choice to trust yourself, honor your values, and stay committed to a purpose that gives your life meaning. The art of building unshakable confidence begins with stepping out of the endless cycle of insecurity and stepping into the stability of self-worth. This kind of confidence doesn't crumble in the face of criticism or falter at the hint of failure. It doesn't look to others for approval or waver under the weight of shifting opinions. Instead, it becomes a quiet strength within you, steadying you even when doubt surrounds you. But what if you've never felt this kind of confidence? What if insecurity has held you back for so long that you don't know where to start? You're not alone. The pressures of today's world can make anyone feel inadequate. We're constantly pushed to compare ourselves to others and convinced that we're somehow lacking. We're bombarded with images of people who seem more capable, attractive, or successful. It's easy to lose faith in ourselves and let insecurity creep in through those cracks of comparison. Yet this ancient wisdom reveals another way, a way to build confidence without waiting for the world's permission. True confidence begins from within. It's not an attitude to fake, but a practice, a series of choices that align with principles and values. These choices are not reserved for the fearless few. They're available to anyone willing to approach life with awareness, courage, and persistence. Timeless wisdom reminds us to stay steady, be patient, and focus on what we can control, our thoughts, reactions, and actions, while letting go of what we cannot, like the opinions and judgments of others. Real confidence isn't about perfection. It's not about never making mistakes or always knowing the answers. It's not loud or flashy. In fact, genuine confidence often reveals itself in quiet yet powerful ways. The strength to say no when needed, the peace of knowing your worth, or the resilience to keep going despite setbacks. It's about staying true to who you are, even when the world around you tries to pull you in different directions. This type of confidence doesn't waver in hardship or rely on validation. It is rooted in self-respect, responsibility, and resilience. It acknowledges that your value isn't defined by achievements or other people's opinions. Your worth is intrinsic, and that truth alone is empowering. This journey doesn't demand fearlessness or perfection. It asks for persistence and courage. Confidence isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about embracing who you truly are, with all your strengths, imperfections, and untapped potential. As we break through the barriers of insecurity one choice at a time, we'll uncover principles that offer clarity, strength, and a renewed sense of self. This is not about fitting into a mold or chasing trends. It's about rediscovering the power that has always been within you, ready to grow, steady, and refine. So, are you ready to let go of doubt, to build resilience that doesn't falter, and find a confidence that is real, enduring, and unshakable? If so, the journey begins now. With each step, you'll see that confidence isn't a gift for a lucky few. It's a practice, a way of living, and a decision to trust in your own worth. Let's begin this transformation together. One lesson, one choice, one moment at a time. Empowering, isn't it? So let's begin this journey toward unshakable confidence, a confidence that endures, supports, and transforms. Because the life you're here to live deserves nothing less. As we step further into this journey, we unravel a truth so simple yet profound that it transforms the very foundation of self-assurance. So often, confidence feels elusive, tied to fleeting successes or the approval of others. But as ancient wisdom teaches, true confidence is rooted in something much deeper, something unshakable and entirely within our reach. What if the steady, unwavering confidence we seek doesn't come from proving ourselves to the world, but from embracing an inner strength that has always been ours? This concept lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy, redefining what it means to feel assured, capable, and at peace with who we are. Together, let's explore the essence of true confidence, peeling back layers of external expectations and uncovering a path to a stronger, more resilient self. The true source of confidence doesn't reside in applause or achievements, but in a quiet understanding of self, an unbreakable connection to our values and principles. For centuries, Stoic philosophy has taught that self-assurance doesn't stem from what others think or even from our accomplishments. Instead, it grows from what we know to be true within ourselves. Confidence, according to Stoicism, isn't about mastering the world around us. It's about mastering how we respond to life's inevitable challenges. It's a journey of self-discovery, grounded in self-respect, personal accountability, and an unyielding commitment to living by our principles. In our modern lives, it's easy to mistake confidence for the praise we receive or the milestones we achieve. Society often equates confidence with a constant need to prove ourselves through accomplishments, possessions, or the approval of others. But Stoic wisdom offers a liberating perspective. True confidence is about knowing ourselves so deeply that our sense of worth is immune to the fluctuations of external circumstances. This confidence isn't built on what we do, but on who we choose to be, moment by moment. It's about a quiet, grounded understanding that we are enough, exactly as we are. When confidence comes from this place of inner clarity, it doesn't falter in the face of criticism or crumble under the weight of failure. Instead, it endures because it's rooted in something unbreakable, our integrity. To truly understand the source of confidence, we must shift our focus inward. Instead of looking outward for validation or seeking approval from others, Stoicism encourages us to concentrate on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and reactions. This shift is powerful. It reminds us that we don't need anyone else to tell us we're worthy or capable. We already have everything we need within us. When we commit to living by our values, truth, kindness, resilience, and responsibility, confidence becomes a natural expression of who we are, rather than something we chase externally. Cultivating this kind of confidence requires practicing self-honesty. Self-honesty is about acknowledging our strengths and weaknesses with compassion and openness, free from judgment or denial. It's not about criticizing ourselves or dwelling on perceived flaws. Instead, it's about facing ourselves with courage and a willingness to grow. When we know ourselves, our motivations, values, and challenges, we stand on a foundation that no one can shake. Self-honesty strips away the need for external validation because we no longer rely on others to define our worth. We become our own source of assurance, drawing confidence from a deep understanding of our authentic self. Another cornerstone of Stoic confidence is accepting the limits of our control. Life is filled with events beyond our influence, others' opinions, unpredictable circumstances, and unexpected twists of fate. Trying to control these only leads to frustration and doubt. But when we accept what we can and cannot control, we free ourselves from the anxiety that comes with seeking approval or fearing failure. Instead, we focus our energy on what truly matters, living by our principles, maintaining integrity, and finding fulfillment in what we can influence. This is where confidence flourishes. By letting go of the need to control everything and embracing the peace that comes from focusing on our own choices, we create space for true resilience. Resilience, another pillar of Stoic confidence, comes from embracing challenges rather than avoiding them. Life will bring its share of difficulties and uncertainties, but our response defines us. When we meet setbacks with calm resolve, we strengthen our inner foundation. Stoicism teaches that hardships are not to be feared, but seen as opportunities to grow, learn, and become stronger. Resilience isn't about pretending everything is easy or being fearless. It's about trusting that we can handle whatever comes our way. With this mindset, confidence becomes unbreakable. It's no longer tied to what happens around us. Instead, it's rooted in the understanding that we are capable of navigating life's challenges with grace and purpose. This is the kind of confidence that transforms lives. It's not loud or flashy. It's quiet, steady, and deeply empowering. It endures through criticism, failure, and uncertainty because it isn't dependent on anything external. It's a reflection of who we are, our values, and our unwavering commitment to living with integrity. And so, we step forward on this journey toward unshakable confidence, a confidence that supports, empowers, and transforms. The life you are here to live deserves nothing less. Let's begin. Self-assurance, according to Stoicism, is deeply connected to self-respect. When we act in ways that honor our values, we build a trust in ourselves that no one else can give us. Each time we make choices aligned with our principles, whether it's being honest, showing kindness, or standing firm in our beliefs, we strengthen our sense of integrity. This inner alignment fosters peace and security because we know we are living authentically. As a result, we no longer seek approval or concern ourselves with others' opinions. We become grounded in our truth, and confidence naturally flourishes. Living in harmony with our values ensures we respect ourselves, and that respect becomes the unshakable foundation for genuine confidence. One of Stoicism's most liberating lessons is understanding that we don't need to be perfect to be worthy. Perfection is an illusion that only feeds dissatisfaction and self-doubt. Stoicism invites us to embrace our imperfections as an integral part of our humanity rather than flaws to be fixed. When we accept that we are enough, even with our imperfections, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of comparison and insecurity. Confidence doesn't come from flawless performance or unbroken success. It comes from knowing that we are worthy despite our imperfections. This acceptance allows us to navigate life with calm assurance, free from the burden of unrealistic standards. Gratitude, a key component of Stoic confidence, shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. It reminds us of our strengths, progress, and the joy in our lives. Practicing gratitude helps us cultivate contentment and reinforces self-worth. Instead of constantly striving for more or comparing ourselves to others, we learn to appreciate who we are and how far we've come. Gratitude creates a solid foundation for confidence by rooting us in abundance rather than scarcity. We stop feeling the need to prove ourselves or seek validation because we realize that we are already enough. Stoic confidence is an inner strength unshaken by external circumstances. It grows from self-knowledge, self-respect, resilience, and gratitude. This kind of confidence doesn't require us to shout our worth or prove it through achievements. Instead, it's a quiet, steady presence that strengthens with every act of integrity and every moment of self-acceptance. Stoicism teaches that confidence isn't a destination, it's a way of living. It's about aligning with our deepest values and trusting in our ability to handle life's challenges. It's not about becoming something different or acquiring something external, but uncovering what has always been within us. As we embrace this perspective, we liberate ourselves from the chains of insecurity and self-doubt. Confidence is no longer tied to fleeting validation or others' opinions. Instead, it becomes a personal source of assurance, drawing strength from within. This shift allows us to live with peace, purpose, and unshakable self-belief. True self-assurance cannot be found in the eyes of others. It's not something granted by external praise, recognition, or approval. Real confidence requires a profound shift, moving away from dependence on the world's opinions and stepping into the strength of our own worth. In today's world of likes, followers, and constant feedback, it's easy to get caught in the cycle of seeking external validation. While recognition or compliments may feel rewarding temporarily, they create a fragile confidence. When we rely on external approval, we place our self-worth in others' hands, making it vulnerable to their ever-changing moods and expectations. True confidence doesn't depend on external factors. It comes from a place within where self-worth is recognized and honored by us alone. Building confidence from within starts with asking meaningful questions. What do I truly value? What traits, actions, or principles make me proud of myself? Acknowledging these truths allows us to develop a resilient confidence that no one else can diminish. By practicing self-recognition, we become our own source of validation. We stop waiting for others to affirm our worth and realize that we've been enough all along. Another critical step is letting go of comparison. In a world of constant connection, it's easy to measure ourselves against others, whether through social media, professional milestones, or personal achievements. But comparison is a trap. It shifts our focus outward and away from our own journey. Instead, Stoicism urges us to focus inward, aligning our actions with our values and celebrating our unique path. Confidence isn't about being better than others. It's about being true to ourselves. Professional achievements or appearances often lead us to the trap of comparison, creating cycles of insecurity and self-doubt. In this state, we may mistakenly believe we need to meet others' standards to feel worthy. However, there is no universal measure of value or success. Each person's path is unique, defined by individual strengths and passions. Embracing inner validation means recognizing and honoring our own path without feeling the need to compete with others. When we stop comparing ourselves to others, we create space to appreciate our progress, unique qualities, and personal journey. This shift fosters self-respect and confidence, allowing us to celebrate who we are rather than who we think we need to be. Another vital aspect of inner validation is self-trust. When we trust ourselves, we become confident in our decisions, abilities, and understanding of right and wrong. This doesn't mean we'll always get things right, but it reflects our faith in our intentions and capacity to learn and grow from experiences. Self-trust frees us from constantly seeking approval or second opinions from others. It empowers us to act decisively, knowing we can handle the outcomes, whether they bring success or challenges. Developing this trust builds resilience and a profound sense of personal agency. To nurture inner validation, self-reflection is essential. Through self-reflection, we gain insight into our motives, strengths, and even insecurities without judgment. By looking inward with compassion and honesty, we gain a clearer understanding of ourselves beyond external perceptions. Self-reflection allows us to break the habit of seeking affirmation from others and instead look within for answers. It's a practice of acknowledging growth, learning from mistakes, and celebrating small victories. Over time, this strengthens our self-awareness and deepens our inner validation. Embracing inner validation brings a liberating freedom. When we let go of the need for external approval, we're no longer constrained by others' expectations or judgments. This doesn't mean we'll never face criticism. It means we won't let it dictate our choices. This freedom allows us to pursue what genuinely fulfills us, make decisions aligned with our values, and express ourselves authentically. Confidence flourishes when we no longer rely on external standards and instead live according to our own. Accepting that not everyone will understand or agree with our choices is another powerful step toward inner validation. Seeking universal approval often hinders personal growth, keeping us in cycles of conformity and hesitation. When we accept that others' approval isn't necessary for our self-worth, we gain the courage to take risks, explore new paths, and live authentically. This acceptance reminds us that our value doesn't diminish simply because someone else fails to see it. By staying true to ourselves, we develop an inner strength that remains unshaken, regardless of external opinions. Mistakes and imperfections are inevitable parts of the journey, but they don't define our worth. When we rely on external approval, we may fear mistakes, worrying about criticism or rejection. However, when confidence comes from within, we see mistakes as opportunities for growth rather than reflections of our value. Embracing mistakes helps us build resilience, understanding setbacks as integral parts of our journey. Confidence grows when we learn that our worth lies not in perfection, but in our persistence and willingness to improve. Practicing self-compassion is also crucial to fostering inner validation. Self-compassion involves showing ourselves kindness during moments of difficulty or doubt. It's a reminder that, like any friend, we deserve patience and understanding. This practice creates a safe internal space where we can acknowledge imperfections without losing self-worth. By cultivating self-compassion, we strengthen our inner validation, affirming that we are valuable even when we stumble. Inner validation encourages us to redefine success and fulfillment based on our own values. Rather than adhering to societal benchmarks or comparing ourselves to others' achievements, we develop personal definitions of success that align with our passions and purpose. This shift liberates us from the pressure to meet external expectations, allowing us to pursue goals that genuinely fulfill us. A life defined by our values becomes a source of unshakable confidence as it reflects our true selves. Ultimately, embracing inner validation transforms how we experience the world. It frees us from the constraints of comparison, the weight of external approval, and the fear of imperfection. In its place, we find a quiet, enduring confidence, a strength rooted in self-awareness, self-respect, and the deep understanding that we are enough. Inner validation brings peace to our relationships by freeing us from the constant need for approval. This liberation doesn't mean we stop caring about others or lose empathy. Instead, it allows us to interact authentically and with mutual respect. Free from the compulsion to please, we can set healthy boundaries, communicate openly, and build relationships rooted in shared values rather than a desire for validation. This shift fosters deeper, more meaningful connections. When we stop trying to fit into molds or win approval, we can show up as our true selves. This honesty not only strengthens our self-worth, but also enriches our relationships, making them more genuine and enduring. Embracing inner validation cultivates profound self-respect. Self-respect is the quiet, steady assurance that we are enough, irrespective of anyone else's opinion. It isn't boastful or loud. It's a calm confidence rooted in our intrinsic worth. When we respect ourselves, we no longer feel compelled to prove ourselves or seek validation. Our actions align with our values, our choices are made with clarity, and our self-worth becomes unwavering. This self-respect forms the foundation of true confidence, a resilience that remains unshaken because it's grounded in a deep understanding of who we are. In embracing inner validation, we discover freedom, peace, and a confidence that comes solely from within. This journey teaches us to define our own worth, stand firmly in our truth, and live a life that honors our core selves. Through self-recognition, self-trust, and self-respect, we build a confidence independent of external approval. As we carry this inner confidence forward, we release the weight of others' expectations and step into a life of authenticity, filled with the strength of inner assurance. True confidence also lies in mastering how we respond to life's challenges. In a world rife with unpredictability and pressures, self-control becomes a rare and valuable skill. It shapes not only our actions, but also the strength we carry within, grounding us with a calm, unshakable confidence. At the heart of self-control is a simple yet powerful principle. We cannot control what happens to us, but we have complete authority over how we respond. Life will bring obstacles, frustrations, and changes. Without self-control, our reactions may be driven by emotion, leading to impulsive or regrettable actions that erode our confidence. But with self-control, we regain power over our responses. Intentional responses allow us to pause, reflect, and choose wisely instead of reacting impulsively. This practice fosters confidence because it reassures us that we are in control of our actions, even amid chaos. Building self-control begins with understanding our emotional triggers. Everyone has situations, comments, or challenges that evoke strong emotional reactions. By recognizing these triggers, we gain the insight needed to prepare for them, enabling us to choose calm and intentional responses. Awareness of our triggers shifts reactions from unconscious impulses to conscious choices. This not only prevents mistakes, but also builds resilience, creating a foundation of confidence unshaken by others' actions or words. Patience is another vital component of self-control. In a world driven by instant gratification, patience is a rare strength. It allows us to endure discomfort, face frustrations, and wait for the right moment to act. Patience builds confidence by teaching us that we don't need to rush or act out of fear. Instead, we learn to trust ourselves, knowing we can handle any moment with composure. This trust fosters resilience and helps us remain grounded, no matter the circumstances. Self-control also teaches us the art of letting go. Many aspects of life, others' behavior, unexpected setbacks, or changing circumstances are beyond our influence. Attempting to control these external factors often leads to frustration, anxiety, or defeat. By mastering self-control, we learn to release attachment to outcomes and focus on what we can control, our actions and responses. This shift brings peace and confidence, as we are no longer weighed down by the uncontrollable. Instead, we channel our energy where it matters most, letting go of the need to control everything and trusting our ability to handle whatever comes our way. In challenging moments, Practicing self-control means resisting immediate reactions. Our natural inclination under stress is often to react quickly, whether to defend ourselves, assert our point, or relieve discomfort. Yet true strength lies in the ability to pause and choose our responses thoughtfully. Through self-control, we cultivate resilience, clarity, and a calm confidence that empowers us to navigate life's challenges with grace and purpose. Mastering self-control, a foundation of lasting confidence. True self-control begins with the ability to pause, take a breath, and assess a situation before responding. This pause, though simple, is a powerful tool. It allows us to collect ourselves, think clearly, and choose responses that align with our values. Each time we practice this pause, we strengthen our self-control, cultivating a confidence that remains steady under stress or pressure. Mindfulness as a key to self-control. Mindfulness teaches us to stay present and observe our thoughts and emotions without immediately acting on them. By cultivating mindfulness, we gain the ability to notice our emotional reactions as they arise, choosing intentional responses over impulsive ones. This practice not only strengthens self-control, but also deepens self-awareness. We begin to see how our thoughts and emotions influence our behavior, empowering us to make choices that reflect our true selves. Through mindfulness, we develop a calm, steady confidence that can hold firm in any situation. Inner peace through self-control. When we master self-control, we foster a sense of inner peace. Many conflicts and stresses stem from reacting impulsively. By learning to control our responses, we reduce unnecessary tension and create space for calm and clarity. This doesn't mean challenges disappear. Rather, it means they no longer dictate our emotions or actions. We gain confidence in our ability to handle difficulties with grace and composure, bringing a profound sense of security and strength. Resisting external pressures. Self-control enables us to resist societal pressures that don't align with our values. In a world that often urges conformity, mastering self-control helps us maintain independence. This independence empowers us to make choices based on our beliefs, not on external validation. Standing firm in our values reinforces confidence, as it reminds us that we can remain authentic, regardless of others' opinions. The role of self-discipline. While motivation sparks action, self-discipline sustains it. Self-control nurtures the discipline to stay committed to our goals, even when progress feels slow or challenges arise. This consistency builds confidence by proving to ourselves that we can persevere. Self-discipline keeps us focused, helps resist distractions, and ensures we overcome obstacles, creating a resilience that strengthens with each success. Conflict resolution with wisdom. Self-control equips us to respond to conflicts with wisdom and composure. In disagreements, it's easy to let emotions escalate tensions. However, self-control allows us to pause, listen, and approach situations with empathy and understanding. This not only resolves conflicts more effectively, but also reinforces confidence in our ability to navigate complex conversations without compromising our inner peace. Resilience against setbacks. Life inevitably brings setbacks, failures, and unexpected changes. Self-control teaches us to stay grounded during these moments, viewing challenges as temporary rather than insurmountable. By focusing on what we can control, our actions and attitudes, we recover more quickly. This resilience builds confidence, reminding us that we can navigate life's ups and downs with strength and adaptability. Taking responsibility. Self-control fosters accountability. Instead of blaming others or external circumstances, we take ownership of our actions, thoughts, and emotions. This accountability is empowering, as it reinforces the understanding that we shape our own experiences. Knowing we control how we respond to life's challenges gives us a steady, resilient strength that external forces cannot easily shake. Embracing imperfection and growth confidence rooted in self-control leads to one of life's most profound realizations. Imperfection is not a flaw, but a vital part of growth. Society often glorifies perfection, leaving little room for mistakes. Yet, genuine growth arises from setbacks. By embracing failure as a teacher rather than a defeat, we unlock opportunities to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. The power of self-compassion. Accepting imperfection allows us to practice self-compassion. When we release the pressure to be flawless, we treat ourselves with the same kindness we'd offer a friend. This self-compassion fosters a stable sense of self-worth, showing us that we are valuable not despite our imperfections, but because of them. A growth-oriented mindset. Seeing failure as growth requires shifting from a fixed mindset to one of development. With a growth mindset, we recognize that skills and resilience evolve over time. Each mistake becomes a stepping stone, fueling a willingness to take risks and learn. This perspective enhances confidence, reminding us that setbacks are temporary and valuable lessons. Authenticity through vulnerability. Embracing imperfection invites authenticity. When we stop striving for a flawless image, we show up as our true selves. This authenticity deepens connections with others as people resonate with honesty and relatability. Living authentically builds confidence as we align with our values rather than external expectations. Resilience strengthened by experience. Resilience grows each time we rise after a setback. By viewing challenges as opportunities to build character and skills, we cultivate a robust confidence that thrives in adversity. Instead of fearing failure, we face it with courage, knowing it strengthens our foundation for future success. As part of growth, we break free from the fear of judgment. Often the greatest obstacle to embracing our imperfections is the fear of how others will perceive us. We worry that if we fall short, we'll lose respect or face criticism. However, when we accept that everyone has their own struggles and setbacks, we realize failure is universal. This perspective liberates us from the need to prove ourselves to others. We begin to care less about external opinions and focus more on our own growth. This shift brings a profound sense of confidence because we no longer allow the fear of judgment to dictate our actions. Instead, we prioritize what truly matters: our journey of self-improvement. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Embracing imperfection encourages us to celebrate progress rather than perfection. When we focus solely on end results, we overlook small victories and personal growth. Valuing progress helps us appreciate every step forward, no matter how small. This mindset builds self-worth, teaching us to honor our efforts even if the outcome isn't flawless. Every step we take and every lesson we learn adds to our confidence, showing us that we are moving forward, growing stronger with every experience. Patience and growth. Accepting failure as part of growth also means letting go of the need for instant success. Growth takes time, and true mastery is built through consistent effort and perseverance. When we recognize that meaningful progress is gradual, we become patient with ourselves. We stop expecting immediate perfection and start appreciating the process. This patience fosters a confidence that doesn't rely on quick wins, but grows steadily with each day of practice, each attempt, and each lesson learned. Exploring beyond comfort zones. Embracing imperfection empowers us to try new things without fear of failure. Often our potential remains untapped because we're afraid of not succeeding immediately. However, when we view failure as a natural part of the journey, we become more willing to step out of our comfort zones, experiment, and take on new challenges. This willingness fosters a dynamic, expansive confidence based on the understanding that growth is more valuable than perfection. Humility and learning. Imperfection also teaches us humility, an essential aspect of true confidence. When we accept that we don't know everything and have areas to improve, we open ourselves to learning from others. This humility strengthens relationships, allowing us to connect on a deeper level, seek guidance, and share in the collective journey of growth. Confidence is not about claiming superiority, but about being secure enough to acknowledge limitations. Staying present. Accepting imperfection reminds us to focus on the present. Often, fears about failure stem from projecting negative outcomes into the future or dwelling on past mistakes. By embracing imperfection, we learn to stay present and focus on the actions we can take now. This presence brings clarity and peace, reducing anxiety and allowing us to build confidence unclouded by regrets or worries. Embracing boundaries with confidence. Having embraced imperfection and resilience, we now step into a vital aspect of self-assurance, setting boundaries with confidence. Boundaries are not walls to keep others out, but essential lines drawn to protect what matters most: our values, well-being, and sense of self. In a world where pressures to conform are overwhelming, the courage to set boundaries and stay true to oneself is a profound act of self-respect. Boundaries as self-respect. Setting boundaries is about honoring our values and recognizing our worth. Boundaries are expressions of what we hold sacred: time, energy, relationships, or principles. When we set boundaries, we're not rejecting others, but prioritizing what allows us to live authentically and maintain inner peace. Boundaries define who we are and what we stand for, creating a foundation of self-respect that strengthens our confidence. Clarity in communication. Communicating boundaries effectively is essential. We may hesitate to set boundaries out of fear of being misunderstood or rejected, but confidence comes from expressing our needs openly and respectfully. Boundaries are an expression of self-respect, not an invitation for negotiation. By stating our needs clearly and calmly, we set an example of healthy self-assurance and reinforce our boundaries with honesty and strength. Facing discomfort with courage. Setting boundaries requires embracing discomfort. Asserting limits may lead to tension or misunderstandings, but enduring these moments builds true confidence. Standing firm demonstrates that our well-being and values are non-negotiable. Over time, this self-assurance earns respect and deepens self-respect, proving that temporary discomfort is worth long-term alignment and peace. Living authentically through boundaries, we reclaim our energy and focus on what truly matters. They clarify expectations, prevent resentment, and foster relationships built on trust and respect. Each time we honor our limits, we affirm our worth, creating a balanced, fulfilling life. By embracing imperfection and setting boundaries, we cultivate a resilient, compassionate confidence. This confidence is not rooted in flawless performance, but in a steady commitment to becoming the best version of ourselves, one imperfect step at a time. Disagreement. Not everyone will understand or accept our limits, and that's perfectly okay. Part of living with confidence is recognizing that we cannot control others' reactions. We can only control our own actions. When we accept that others may not agree with our boundaries, we free ourselves from the need to explain or defend them. This acceptance strengthens our resilience because it allows us to stay true to ourselves without being swayed by others' opinions. We begin to understand that our boundaries are valid, regardless of how others perceive them. This confidence in our decisions creates a sense of inner peace, as we learn to value our well-being over external validation. The freedom boundaries. Bring one of the most powerful aspects of setting boundaries is the freedom it brings. Boundaries help us avoid situations that drain our energy or compromise our values, allowing us to focus on what truly matters. When we set boundaries, we reclaim our time and energy, redirecting them toward activities, relationships, and goals that fulfill us. This sense of freedom enhances our confidence because we know we have the power to shape our lives according to our own values. We're no longer pulled in every direction by others' expectations or demands. Instead, we create a life that reflects our true selves, a life where we feel grounded, empowered, and content. Self-respect and protection boundaries also serve as a form of self-protection. They help us avoid situations that may cause stress, conflict, or emotional harm. When we recognize our right to protect ourselves, we build a foundation of trust and self-respect. Boundaries are a way of saying, "I deserve to be treated with respect, not only by others, but also by myself." This self-respect strengthens our confidence because it reinforces our sense of worth. We no longer tolerate behavior that undermines our well-being or feel guilty for prioritizing ourselves. This self-protection isn't selfish. It's a necessary step in creating a life that supports our mental and emotional health. The power of saying no. Learning to say no is an essential part of setting boundaries. Many people struggle with saying no because they fear disappointing others or being seen as uncooperative. However, saying no is a powerful act of self-care. It allows us to honor our limits and focus on what truly aligns with our goals and values. When we say no, we're not rejecting others. We're choosing to respect our own needs. This choice builds confidence because it shows us that we have the right to make decisions that serve our well-being. Saying no doesn't diminish our kindness or empathy. It simply means we are choosing to be kind to ourselves as well. Healthier relationships through boundaries. Setting boundaries helps us cultivate healthier relationships. When we establish clear limits, we create a foundation of mutual respect with others. Boundaries communicate our expectations, helping others understand how to treat us and what we value. This clarity enhances our relationships because it eliminates misunderstandings and fosters trust. People who respect our boundaries demonstrate their respect for us, while those who don't may reveal they are not aligned with our values. Boundaries act as a filter, allowing us to build relationships that are supportive, respectful, and meaningful. This confidence in our relationships strengthens our sense of self as we surround ourselves with people who honor our values. Releasing guilt. In setting boundaries, we also practice letting go of guilt. Often we may feel guilty for prioritizing ourselves, as though setting boundaries is an act of selfishness. But Stoicism teaches us that taking care of oneself is not only a right, but a responsibility. When we release guilt, we allow ourselves to set boundaries with a clear conscience, knowing that we're not hurting others, but rather respecting our own needs. This release of guilt empowers us to make choices aligned with our values, without second-guessing or self-blame. By letting go of guilt, we build a confidence that is unburdened by doubt, a confidence that allows us to live authentically and joyfully. With resilience, we become confident in our ability to evolve, knowing that we can handle whatever life brings. This adaptability brings flexibility to our confidence, allowing it to endure through life's twists and turns. Daily reflection nurtures gratitude, a practice that shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. Gratitude reminds us of the resources, relationships, and strengths that support us each day. When we take time to appreciate these aspects of our lives, we create a sense of abundance and contentment. This gratitude fosters self-trust because it reminds us that we have enough within ourselves to be content. We no longer need to look outside for validation or approval. We recognize the value of what we already possess. This mindset of gratitude deepens our confidence as we become aware of our inner richness. As we incorporate reflection into our lives, we build a self-trust that is resilient, compassionate, and unwavering. Each day of reflection strengthens our understanding of who we are, what we stand for, and how we want to grow. Through this practice, we become more attuned to our own needs, values, and goals, creating a life that is aligned with our true self. This bond with ourselves fosters a confidence that cannot be shaken because it is built on self-knowledge, acceptance, and intentionality. In building self-trust, we lay the foundation for a confidence that is deeply rooted, a confidence that will carry us through life with strength and grace. As we deepen our journey of self-trust, a powerful truth begins to emerge. Confidence doesn't thrive in places where we focus on what lies beyond our control. Much of the doubt that weighs on us comes from trying to manage what we cannot influence, leaving us feeling powerless and uncertain. But when we shift our attention to what we can control, our own thoughts, choices, and responses, we begin to silence the voice of doubt. By centering our energy on what's within our reach, we uncover a steady, reliable confidence that isn't shaken by the world's unpredictability. Let's explore how focusing inward creates a foundation of strength, allowing us to let go of external worries and find confidence in the clarity of our own intentions. Self-doubt often creeps in when we feel overwhelmed by things beyond our control, others' opinions, unpredictable outcomes, or the expectations imposed on us. By focusing on these uncontrollable factors, we give away our power, making our sense of worth dependent on elements we can't influence. This cycle leaves us feeling inadequate, as we're constantly measuring ourselves against standards that are impossible to meet consistently. But the moment we decide to focus on what we can control, we reclaim that power. We start directing our energy toward the things that truly reflect who we are, grounding ourselves in a sense of purpose and agency that silences doubt and strengthens self-assurance. One of the most liberating aspects of focusing on what we can control is the peace it brings. When we center our attention on our own actions and responses, we free ourselves from the anxiety of trying to shape external circumstances. This practice doesn't mean that we ignore the world around us. It simply means that we choose to engage with it from a place of strength rather than worry. When we focus on what we can control, we learn to respond rather than react. We start viewing challenges as opportunities to act in alignment with our values rather than as threats to our self-worth. This shift brings a calm confidence that allows us to face life's uncertainties with grace and resilience. Focusing on what we can control also helps us develop emotional resilience. Often, self-doubt arises when we let our emotions be influenced by external factors we cannot change. By centering ourselves on what we can control, we gain mastery over our reactions. This self-mastery doesn't mean suppressing our emotions. It means acknowledging them, understanding their source, and choosing how to respond. Each time we practice this control, we reinforce our belief in our ability to handle life's ups and downs without losing our sense of self. Emotional resilience is a profound source of confidence because it shows us that no matter what happens, we have the inner strength to face it. Another powerful aspect of focusing on what we can control is that it helps us stay present. Self-doubt often pulls us into the past, dwelling on things we wish we could change, or it projects us into the future, worrying about what might happen. By focusing on the present moment and what we can do now, We become grounded in reality. We're no longer caught up in regrets or fears. We're actively engaged in the here and now. This presence brings clarity and confidence because it reminds us that we have the power to shape each moment. We start to see life as a series of choices, each one an opportunity to act in alignment with our true self. Focusing on what we can control also teaches us responsibility. It reminds us that while we can't change every situation, we are always responsible for our actions and reactions. This sense of responsibility is empowering because it gives us a clear path forward. Instead of feeling helpless in the face of external circumstances, we know that we can always choose how to respond. This ownership of our choices builds a confidence that is deeply rooted in self-respect. We start to trust ourselves more, knowing that we have the ability to navigate life with integrity and purpose, regardless of what happens around us. Letting go of the need to control external outcomes also brings freedom from perfectionism. Often, our self-doubt stems from trying to meet impossible standards or please everyone around us. But when we focus on what we can control, we learn to set realistic, self-directed goals that reflect our own values rather than others' expectations. This shift frees us from the weight of perfectionism, allowing us to pursue growth rather than flawlessness. We begin to see our efforts as valuable regardless of the outcome, building a confidence that is steady and resilient because it's based on progress, not perfection. Focusing on what we can control also encourages us to develop skills and qualities that empower us. When we let go of trying to manage external factors, we redirect our energy toward cultivating traits that strengthen us from within: patience, resilience, adaptability, and wisdom. Each of these qualities becomes a tool in our journey, helping us face life's uncertainties with a sense of purpose. We start to see that we have everything we need within ourselves to handle challenges, setbacks, and change. This inner strength builds a confidence that doesn't waver because it isn't based on external success, but on our own growth and commitment to self-improvement. Another key benefit of focusing on what we can control is that it fosters. Authenticity is key. When we stop trying to control others' perceptions or meet external expectations, we become more in touch with who we truly are. We start making choices that reflect our true desires, values, and interests, rather than conforming to what others think we should be. This authenticity brings a profound sense of confidence because it allows us to live in alignment with our true self. We're no longer seeking validation from others. We're living a life that feels honest and fulfilling. This alignment with our own identity creates a sense of self-worth that doesn't rely on external approval. This focus on what we can control also helps us handle criticism with grace. When we're grounded in our own values and actions, we become less affected by others' opinions. We understand that we can't control what others think or say, but we can control how we respond. Instead of internalizing criticism, we learn to view it as feedback, taking from it what's useful and letting go of the rest. This approach reinforces our self-confidence because it shows us that we don't need to change ourselves to meet others' expectations. We can stay true to ourselves while remaining open to growth, creating a balanced confidence that is neither defensive nor overly influenced by outside judgment. Focusing on what we can control also brings resilience in the face of setbacks. Life will inevitably present challenges, and when our confidence is based on external factors, these setbacks can feel devastating. But when we focus on our own choices and actions, we gain a resilience that allows us to view setbacks as temporary. We understand that while we may not control every outcome, we can always control how we respond, how we choose to grow, and what we learn from each experience. This resilience builds confidence because it reminds us that we are not defined by our circumstances, we are defined by how we handle them. Redirecting our attention to what we can control also allows us to maintain a sense of inner peace. Self-doubt often arises when we're constantly reacting to the external world, feeling pulled in different directions by others' demands or unpredictable events. By focusing inward, we create a calm center, a place where we can return to our own values and intentions. This peace is a powerful source of confidence because it grounds us, reminding us that we are our own anchor. We're no longer swayed by every shift in our environment. We're steady, calm, and assured in our own path. As we continue to focus on what we can control, we build a life of purpose. We stop wasting energy on things that don't serve us and start investing in actions that align with our goals and values. This purposeful living strengthens our confidence because it shows us that we have the power to create a meaningful life. We're no longer waiting for the world to validate us. We're actively building a life that reflects who we are. This sense of purpose brings fulfillment as we see the positive impact of our choices on our lives and those around us. We become confident not only in our abilities, but also in the direction of our lives. Focusing on what we can control fosters gratitude. When we stop chasing after things beyond our reach, we begin to appreciate what we already have. Gratitude reminds us of our strengths, our progress, and the support in our lives. This mindset creates a sense of abundance, showing us that we are already enough. This gratitude strengthens our confidence because it shifts our focus from what we lack to what we possess, reinforcing a sense of contentment and self-worth. We start to see our lives as complete, filled with opportunities to grow and create, rather than as a series of unmet needs. As we continue on this journey, the power of focusing on what we can control becomes clear. Each moment we choose to redirect our energy inward, we build a confidence that is grounded, resilient, and unshaken by the world's unpredictability. We learn to trust in our own ability to navigate life's challenges, to grow from every experience, and to stand firm in our own worth. This confidence, rooted in the power of self-control and intentionality, becomes a constant source of strength. As we continue to focus on what lies within our control, we arrive at a crucial point: navigating the impact of criticism. Others' opinions can often feel like a weight, challenging our self-image and pulling us off balance. But true confidence is about holding steady no matter what feedback or judgment we receive. It's not about rejecting criticism, but about grounding ourselves so deeply in our own self-worth that we're no longer swayed by others' perceptions. Let's explore how to build this resilience, creating a self-image that remains intact even in the face of external challenges. Opinions and criticism can be a powerful force, one that often triggers self-doubt and insecurity. Yet, criticism is inevitable. We can't control others' opinions, but we can choose how much influence we allow them to have over us. When we learn to remain grounded under criticism, we take back the power to define our own worth. This process begins by understanding that not every opinion reflects the truth, and not every piece of feedback requires action. Instead, we start discerning which opinions align with our values and which do not. This discernment brings clarity, enabling us to approach criticism with a balanced perspective rather than absorbing it blindly. It frees us from the need to change ourselves for others and empowers us to stand firm in who we are. One of the most valuable insights in staying grounded under criticism is recognizing the source. Not all feedback comes from a place of understanding or kindness. Some people criticize out of their own insecurities or projections, while others may simply lack insight into our experiences or goals. By examining the source, we gain perspective on whether the criticism is constructive or merely an opinion shaped by others' biases. This understanding allows us to approach criticism without letting it define our self-image. When we recognize that certain feedback says more about the critic than about us, we are free to continue on our path with confidence, knowing that our worth is not determined by others' views. Staying grounded under criticism also requires a strong sense of self-awareness. When we understand our values, strengths, and purpose, we become less susceptible to others' opinions. Self-awareness acts as an anchor, reminding us of who we are and why we do what we do. This foundation helps us process criticism without letting it shake our confidence. We can consider feedback with an open mind while still holding true to our values. Self-awareness allows us to separate useful insight from irrelevant opinions, giving us the clarity to decide which feedback aligns with our growth and which doesn't. This selective approach to criticism reinforces our self-trust, showing us that we are capable of discerning what truly matters. Another key aspect of handling criticism is the ability to detach emotionally from the feedback we receive. Often, criticism feels painful because we take it personally, interpreting it as a judgment of our worth. But when we learn to detach, we start viewing criticism objectively, as information rather than a personal attack. This detachment doesn't mean ignoring feedback. It means approaching it with a calm, neutral mindset. We can evaluate the content without internalizing the emotion behind it. This practice builds resilience because it shows us that we can handle criticism without letting it damage our self-image. We begin to see feedback as a tool for growth, not a measure of our value. Self-compassion is also essential when dealing with criticism. Often, our harshest critic is our own inner voice, one that echoes the negative feedback we receive from others. By practicing self-compassion, we create a safe space within ourselves, a place where we can acknowledge our imperfections without judgment. This kindness toward ourselves strengthens our self-image because it teaches us that we are worthy even when we receive criticism. Self-compassion allows us to process feedback without self-blame, to learn from it without diminishing our self-worth. This approach builds a confidence that is steady and compassionate, a confidence that supports us in both growth and self-acceptance. When we face criticism, it's also important to remind ourselves that growth is a journey, one that naturally includes feedback and learning. Criticism doesn't mean we're failing, it simply means we have areas to improve. By viewing criticism as part of the growth process, we remove the stigma of judgment and replace it with a mindset of learning. This shift in perspective builds a resilient self-image because it shows us that we are constantly evolving, that our worth is not fixed but shaped by our willingness to grow. With each piece of feedback, we gain insights that guide us forward, helping us become more aligned with our values and goals. Maintaining boundaries is another vital skill in staying grounded under criticism. Just because someone offers an opinion doesn't mean we have to accept it. Boundaries allow us to filter feedback, choosing what to engage with and what to let go. This selective approach to criticism strengthens our self-image because it reinforces our right to choose our own path. Boundaries remind us that we don't need to absorb every opinion. We can respectfully decline feedback that doesn't serve us. This autonomy over what we allow into our lives builds confidence, showing us that we have the power to define our own worth, regardless of others' judgments. Staying grounded under criticism also means learning to trust our own judgment. While feedback can be valuable, no one knows our journey as intimately as we do. By developing trust in our own perspective, we become less reliant on others' opinions to validate our choices. This self-trust is empowering because it reminds us that we have the wisdom to make decisions that align with our goals. We start to see criticism as one perspective among many, rather than as a defining truth. This independence in thought strengthens our self-image as we realize that we are fully capable of charting our own path. Criticism also offers us a chance to practice humility. While staying grounded means not letting criticism undermine our self-image, it also means being open to insights that can help us grow. Humility allows us to accept constructive feedback without feeling defensive or diminished. By embracing a humble approach, we show ourselves that confidence and growth go hand in hand. This openness to learning reinforces our self-image because it shows us that we are secure enough in ourselves to accept guidance without losing our sense of worth. This balance of humility and confidence creates a resilient, adaptable self-image, one that can grow without being easily shaken. Another important aspect of handling criticism is recognizing the difference between constructive feedback and negativity. Constructive feedback is specific, actionable, and offered with the intent to support our growth. Negativity, on the other hand, is often vague, dismissive, or rooted in the critic's own insecurities. By distinguishing between the two, we can approach feedback with clarity, embracing what serves us and disregarding what doesn't. This discernment reinforces our self-image because it reminds us that not every opinion is valuable. We learn to protect our worth by only engaging with feedback that genuinely supports our growth. Staying grounded under criticism requires a commitment to self-acceptance. When we accept ourselves fully, we become less dependent on others' validation. This acceptance is not about ignoring areas for improvement. It's about acknowledging our strengths and embracing our uniqueness. Self-acceptance builds a self-image that is stable, one that doesn't waver with every piece of feedback. We start to see ourselves as whole, valuable individuals, regardless of others' opinions. This confidence in our own worth is unshakable because it's based on a deep understanding of who we are. We no longer feel the need to prove ourselves to others. We're content with who we are, flaws and all. As we continue to practice these skills, staying grounded under criticism becomes a natural part of who we are. We're no longer swayed by every opinion or critique. We approach feedback with calm, centered confidence. We start to see criticism as part of the journey, a tool for growth rather than a threat to our self-worth. This approach to criticism fosters a self-image that is resilient, adaptable, and deeply rooted in self-respect. It allows us to navigate life with a sense of peace, knowing that we are enough just as we are. As we learn to stay grounded under criticism, we open ourselves to a powerful truth about growth. Every experience, especially the difficult ones, carries a hidden opportunity for learning. Challenges don't have to diminish our confidence. In fact, with the right perspective, they can become some of our greatest sources of strength. When we learn to reframe setbacks as opportunities, we develop a resilience that thrives even in hardship. Let's explore how a Stoic approach to life's difficulties can transform them into powerful confidence boosters, helping us rise stronger with every lesson learned. Life brings moments that test us, times when obstacles seem overwhelming or when failure feels final. But it's in these moments of difficulty that the Stoic perspective becomes invaluable. Instead of viewing negative experiences as setbacks, the Stoic mindset encourages us to see them as opportunities for growth and learning. This perspective shift does not deny the reality of hardship. Instead, it invites us to dig deeper to uncover the lessons that each challenge offers. When we approach difficulties with the mindset that there is always something valuable to gain, we transform our experiences, building a confidence that is grounded in resilience and wisdom. Reframing negative experiences as learning opportunities begins with acknowledging the emotions that arise in challenging times, Often, the initial reaction to hardship is frustration, disappointment, or even fear. These emotions are natural, but they don't have to control us. The Stoic approach teaches us to observe these feelings without judgment, understanding that they are part of the human experience. When we learn to sit with these emotions, we create space to respond with clarity rather than reactivity. This emotional awareness is the first step in reframing difficulties because it allows us to approach challenges with a calm, steady mind. We no longer feel overwhelmed by our emotions. Instead, we become curious about what each experience has to teach us. In the Stoic view, obstacles are not barriers but pathways to growth. Each challenge presents an opportunity to strengthen qualities like patience, resilience, and adaptability. When we face a setback, we can choose to focus on what the experience is teaching us rather than what it's taking away. For example, a failure at work may initially feel like a loss, but it can also teach us about areas where we can improve, the importance of preparation, or the value of resilience. By focusing on these lessons, we turn each experience into a stepping stone for growth. This mindset doesn't ignore the difficulty of setbacks. It simply chooses to emphasize what can be gained from them. This approach builds a confidence that isn't dependent on avoiding failure. It's a confidence that grows through each lesson learned. Reframing challenges as opportunities also encourages us to take responsibility for our growth. Instead of blaming circumstances or others for our difficulties, we start to look inward, asking ourselves what we can learn and how we can grow. This shift from blame to responsibility is empowering because it shows us that we have the ability to shape our own development. When we take ownership of our experiences, we stop feeling like victims of circumstance and start seeing ourselves as active participants in our own journey. This responsibility builds confidence because it reminds us that no matter what happens, we have the power to learn, grow, and improve. The Stoic mindset also teaches us to view challenges as a test of our values. Difficult times reveal our character, showing us who we truly are and what we stand for. When we face hardship, we're given the chance to act in alignment with our principles, demonstrating courage, honesty, or kindness, even when it's hard. Each time we choose to live by our values in difficult moments, we strengthen our sense of self. This alignment with our principles builds a confidence that is unshakable because it's grounded in integrity. We start to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to reaffirm who we are, creating a self-image that is resilient and true. Reframing negative experiences as learning opportunities also teaches us the value of persistence. Many challenges don't have quick fixes. They require patience and sustained effort. When we learn to embrace the process of growth, we stop expecting immediate results and start valuing steady progress. This patience builds resilience because it shows us that growth is a journey, one that requires dedication and perseverance. Each step forward, no matter how small, becomes a source of pride, reinforcing our belief in our own strength. This persistence builds a confidence that isn't easily discouraged because it's based on our commitment to continue moving forward, no matter how difficult the path. Another essential aspect of reframing challenges is developing adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and the ability to adapt to changing circumstances is crucial for resilience. When we see challenges as opportunities, we become more open to change, more willing to adjust our plans and expectations. Adaptability teaches us that setbacks are not the end. They are simply a redirection. This flexibility builds a confidence that is dynamic, one that can handle change with grace rather than resistance. We start to see challenges as opportunities to learn new approaches, broaden our perspectives, and grow in ways we hadn't anticipated. Reframing challenges also helps us build empathy, both for ourselves and for others. Difficult times often reveal our vulnerabilities, reminding us that everyone faces challenges and struggles. This awareness fosters compassion, allowing us to be kinder to ourselves and more understanding of others' journeys. This empathy strengthens our relationships and enhances our self-image, because it shows us that we are not alone in our experiences. By recognizing the shared nature of hardship, we develop a sense of connection that supports our confidence. We become more resilient, knowing that we are part of a larger human experience, one that values growth over perfection. Seeing challenges as learning opportunities also reminds us of our capacity for resilience. Each time we overcome a difficulty, we gain proof of our own strength. We start to see ourselves as capable and resourceful, building a self-image that is grounded in our own experiences of perseverance. This confidence grows with each challenge faced and each lesson learned, showing us that we have the inner strength to handle whatever comes our way. This resilience becomes a powerful source of self-assurance, reminding us that no matter how tough life gets, we have the ability to rise, learn, and grow stronger. Reframing challenges as opportunities for growth also teaches us the importance of gratitude. Even in the most difficult times, there is something to be grateful for: a lesson learned, a new perspective, a deeper understanding of ourselves. Gratitude doesn't deny the reality of hardship. It simply shifts our focus to the gifts that each experience brings. This mindset of gratitude builds a confidence that is both humble and strong. We stop taking things for granted and start valuing the growth that each challenge brings. This gratitude reinforces our resilience because it reminds us that every experience, no matter how difficult, contributes to our journey, making us wiser and more compassionate. As we embrace the Stoic approach to challenges, reframing them as opportunities, we cultivate a mindset that thrives in adversity. This mindset doesn't seek to avoid difficulty. It sees challenges as essential parts of growth. With each experience, we build a confidence that is grounded, resilient, and capable of facing life's ups and downs with courage and grace. We learn to trust in our ability to learn, adapt, and grow, creating a self-assurance that endures, even in the face of life's greatest challenges. As we learn to reframe challenges as opportunities, we uncover a new level of inner resilience and strength. Yet, even with this resilient mindset, true confidence comes from an even deeper source: living authentically. Guided by our own beliefs rather than the shifting demands of trends or others' expectations, living authentically is an unwavering commitment to what we value most, an expression of who we genuinely are. Let's explore the transformative power of staying true to oneself and how this alignment builds a confidence that endures, unaffected by the constant push and pull of external influences. Living authentically begins with understanding our values, the beliefs that resonate deeply within us. In a world that constantly presents us with competing ideals and opinions, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters to us as individuals. Yet, authenticity is grounded in self-awareness, knowing what we believe in and why. When we take the time to clarify our values, we create a foundation that supports us through life's changes. This clarity allows us to navigate life with purpose, making choices that reflect who we truly are. When we act in alignment with our values, we build a confidence that doesn't rely on external approval. It's a confidence that comes from living a life that feels true and meaningful. One of the most freeing aspects of living authentically is the release from the need to conform. Trends, social pressures, and external expectations can be powerful forces, tempting us to adopt beliefs or behaviors that don't align with who we are. But when we commit to authenticity, we choose to live on our own terms, regardless of what others may think or expect. This freedom from conformity brings a sense of peace, as we are no longer trying to fit into molds that don't suit us. This peace enhances our confidence, reminding us that we don't need to follow the crowd to find happiness or fulfillment. Instead, we find fulfillment by honoring our unique path. Living authentically also brings a deep sense of self-respect. Each time we make a choice that reflects our true beliefs, we show ourselves that we value our own voice. This respect for our own perspective builds confidence because it reinforces the idea that our thoughts and feelings matter. We start to see ourselves as capable of making decisions that are right for us without needing others' validation. This self-respect strengthens our resilience, allowing us to stand firm even when others disagree or question our choices. We no longer seek approval from others. We are secure in the knowledge that we are living in alignment with what truly matters to us. Choosing authenticity also requires courage. It can be challenging to go against the grain, to make choices that are different from what others expect. Yet, this courage is one of the greatest sources of confidence. Each time we choose to be true to ourselves, we reinforce our belief in our own worth. We start to see that we are strong enough to follow our path, even when it's not the easiest or most popular choice. This courage builds resilience because it reminds us that we have the power to shape our own lives. We're no longer swayed by others' opinions. We're guided by our own convictions. Living authentically also fosters meaningful connections. When we show up as our true selves, we attract people who resonate with our genuine nature, building relationships that are based on mutual respect and understanding. These connections strengthen our confidence because they remind us that we are valued for who we are, not for who we pretend to be. We stop seeking approval through superficial connections and start finding fulfillment in relationships that support our growth and individuality. This authenticity in relationships brings a sense of belonging that is grounded in truth, creating a support system that nurtures our self-worth and confidence. Another powerful aspect of authenticity is that it allows us to live without regret. When we make choices that are true to our beliefs, we don't look back with doubt or wonder what could have been. Instead, we live with a sense of peace, knowing that we acted in alignment with our true self. This freedom from regret builds confidence because it allows us to move forward without the weight of second-guessing our past decisions. We trust in our ability to make choices that reflect who we are, creating a self-assurance that is steady and rooted in self-trust. Living authentically also means embracing our imperfections. Authenticity is not about presenting a flawless image. It's about showing up as we are, with both our strengths and our struggles. This openness creates a sense of self-acceptance that is essential for confidence. When we stop trying to hide our flaws, we start to see that they don't define us. Instead, they are simply parts of our unique journey. This acceptance of our whole self, imperfections included, builds a confidence that is resilient because it doesn't rely on perfection. We learn to appreciate ourselves fully, creating a self-image that is both honest and empowered. Choosing to live authentically also teaches us to trust our intuition. In a world that often prioritizes logic and external validation, it can be easy to dismiss our inner voice. But authenticity invites us to reconnect with our intuition, to listen to the guidance that comes from within. Each time we trust our intuition, we build a deeper connection with ourselves, strengthening our confidence in our own wisdom. This inner guidance becomes a compass, helping us navigate life with clarity and purpose. We become more confident in our decisions because we know they are aligned with our true self, not influenced by fleeting trends or external pressures. Living authentically also helps us develop resilience. When we stay true to our beliefs, we build a foundation that supports us through life's challenges. We're no longer dependent on others for validation, so we're less affected by external setbacks. This resilience builds confidence because it reminds us that our worth is not determined by circumstances. It's rooted in our commitment to live in alignment with our values. We start to see challenges as tests of our authenticity, opportunities to reaffirm who we are. This resilience creates a self-assurance that isn't easily shaken because it's based on a deep understanding of our own worth. Authenticity also brings a sense of fulfillment. When we make choices that align with our true self, we experience a satisfaction that isn't dependent on external validation. We feel whole, knowing we are living in alignment with our deepest values. Achievements and fulfillment. This fulfillment builds confidence because it shows us that we don't need to chase success or approval to find happiness. We start to see that true happiness comes from living a life that feels meaningful and true. This sense of purpose strengthens our self-worth as we realize that we are capable of creating a life that reflects our deepest values. This fulfillment brings peace, confidence that isn't restless or striving, but content in its own path. Embracing change. Living authentically also means embracing change. As we grow and learn, our values may evolve and our beliefs may shift. Authenticity isn't about rigidly sticking to one version of ourselves. It's about being true to who we are in each moment. This openness to change builds a confidence that is adaptable, one that thrives even as we evolve. We start to see change not as a threat, but as a natural part of growth, a chance to deepen our understanding of ourselves. This adaptability reinforces our resilience, allowing us to move forward with confidence, knowing that we can trust ourselves to navigate whatever life brings. Inspiring others. When we live authentically, we also inspire others to do the same. Our courage to be true to ourselves creates a ripple effect, encouraging those around us to embrace their own authenticity. This impact brings a sense of purpose as we see that our choices can positively influence others. This sense of purpose strengthens our confidence because it reminds us that our authenticity is valuable, not only to ourselves, but to those we inspire. We start to see ourselves as role models, building a self-image that is both humble and strong. Rooted confidence. As we embrace the journey of living authentically, we build a confidence that is deeply rooted in self-awareness, resilience, and purpose. Each choice we make in alignment with our values reinforces our self-worth, showing us that we are capable of living a life that feels true and fulfilling. This confidence is not fleeting or dependent on others. It's a steady, enduring assurance that comes from knowing who we are and honoring that truth in every aspect of our lives. Gratitude and self-worth. As we step into a life rooted in authenticity, a remarkable truth emerges. Self-worth is deeply connected to gratitude. When practiced fully, gratitude nurtures a profound acceptance of who we are and what we have. It opens us to the richness of life's gifts, showing us that we are already whole, already enough. Embracing gratitude transforms how we view ourselves and our journey. Let's explore how a mindset of gratitude strengthens our self-worth and resilience, creating a confidence that is sustained by appreciation rather than by the pursuit of more. Gratitude begins with a shift in focus, from dwelling on what we lack to appreciating what we have. In a world that often encourages comparison and competition, gratitude brings us back to our own lives, our own blessings, and our unique journey. This awareness fosters self-acceptance because it reminds us that we have value in our present state. When we take time each day to appreciate the people, experiences, and qualities in our lives, we start to see our worth in a new light. Our self-esteem is no longer based on what we achieve or accumulate. It's grounded in the realization that our lives are already abundant. Building resilience through gratitude. Practicing gratitude also helps us build resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges can sometimes feel overwhelming. Yet gratitude has the power to shift our perspective, allowing us to see even difficult moments as part of a larger journey. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we become more resilient because we're less likely to be defined by setbacks. Instead, we see them as temporary events, knowing that we still have many reasons to appreciate life. This perspective strengthens our confidence because it reminds us that no single challenge can diminish our overall worth. Gratitude becomes a source of strength, a reminder that no matter what happens, we still have much to be thankful for. Inner abundance. Another essential benefit of gratitude is that it fosters a sense of inner abundance. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we start to see life as filled with opportunities, support, and joy. This mindset of abundance reinforces our self-worth because it reminds us that we are not lacking. We stop looking outside for validation and instead find fulfillment within. This abundance builds confidence because it shows us that we have enough within ourselves to be content. We no longer feel the need to constantly chase after more. Instead, we cultivate a sense of peace and satisfaction, knowing that we are already rich in meaningful ways. Enhancing relationships. Gratitude also enhances our relationships, a vital aspect of self-worth. When we appreciate the people in our lives, we create connections that are based on respect, empathy, and kindness. This approach fosters healthy relationships that support our growth and happiness. As we show appreciation for others, we start to see that our presence is valuable to them as well. This mutual exchange of gratitude builds a sense of belonging, reminding us that we are an important part of others' lives. This sense of connection strengthens our confidence because it shows us that we are valued, that our presence has meaning. We no longer question our worth. We see it reflected in the gratitude and love that surrounds us. Shifting inner dialogue. One of the most transformative aspects of gratitude is that it shifts our inner dialogue. Often we are our own harshest critics, focusing on our perceived shortcomings and failures. Gratitude interrupts this cycle by inviting us to focus on what we appreciate about ourselves. When we practice self-gratitude, acknowledging our strengths, efforts, and progress, we create a foundation of self-acceptance. This kindness toward ourselves builds resilience because it allows us to see ourselves with compassion rather than judgment. This self-gratitude becomes a source of confidence as we start to recognize that we are worthy of appreciation, that our journey is meaningful, even with its imperfections. Mindfulness and present moment gratitude also cultivates a sense of mindfulness, grounding us in the present moment. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we stop dwelling on past regrets or future worries. This presence allows us to fully experience and appreciate each moment, creating a sense of fulfillment that is not tied to any particular outcome. This fulfillment builds confidence because it shows us that happiness and contentment are available to us right now. We no longer feel pressured to constantly achieve more. Instead, we find peace in the simple joys of life. This presence reinforces our self-worth, reminding us that our value is not based on what we accomplish, but on who we are in each moment. Finding meaning in everyday experiences. Gratitude also enhances our ability to find meaning in everyday experiences. When we approach life with appreciation, we start to see the beauty in even the smallest moments, a warm conversation, a beautiful view, or a personal achievement. This attention to life's simple joys strengthens our resilience because it shows us that happiness is accessible in all circumstances. This appreciation for the present builds confidence because it reminds us that our worth is not tied to grand successes or achievements. It's found in the way we live each day. This mindset shifts our focus from external validation to internal fulfillment, creating a confidence that is grounded in gratitude for the richness of our own lives. Acceptance of our journey. Another significant aspect of gratitude is that it helps us accept our journey. Life doesn't always go as planned, and we may encounter setbacks, disappointments, or detours. Gratitude helps us see these moments not as failures, but as part of a larger, meaningful path. When we are grateful for both the highs and lows, we develop a sense of acceptance, knowing that each experience has value. This acceptance builds resilience because it reminds us that we are not defined by a single event or outcome. We start to see our lives as a continuous journey, one that is enriched by each experience. This acceptance of our journey strengthens our confidence because it shows us that we are enough just as we are, without needing to meet anyone else's expectations. Cultivating humility. Gratitude also helps us cultivate humility, a quality that enhances our self-worth by reminding us of our interconnectedness with others. When we're grateful, we acknowledge the support, kindness, and guidance we've received along the way. This humility doesn't diminish our confidence. Instead, it builds a quiet, grounded self-assurance. We start to see that our worth is not based on individual achievements, but on the relationships and experiences that shape us. This humility brings a sense of peace as we recognize that we are part of something larger, supported by the kindness of others. This awareness strengthens our self-worth because it reminds us that we are valued and connected, a part of a greater whole. Acknowledging strengths and achievements. Practicing gratitude also encourages us to embrace our own strengths and achievements. When we take time to acknowledge our progress, our efforts, and our resilience, we start to see ourselves in a positive light. This self-recognition builds confidence because it shows us that we are capable, that we have achieved much and overcome many challenges. This appreciation for our own journey creates a foundation of self-respect, reminding us that we are worthy of our own praise. This self-gratitude reinforces our resilience as we start to see ourselves as strong, resourceful, and deserving of our own acknowledgement. Gratitude fosters hope, a quality that strengthens our resilience during difficult times. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we cultivate a mindset of positivity and optimism. We begin to see challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as temporary difficulties that we can overcome. This hope builds confidence because it reminds us that we have the inner resources to handle life's ups and downs. We start to see ourselves as capable of creating a positive future, fueled by the gratitude and hope we cultivate each day. As we integrate gratitude into our lives, we build a self-worth that is resilient, compassionate, and grounded in appreciation. Each moment of gratitude strengthens our connection to ourselves, reminding us that we are enough, that we have much to offer, and that we are deeply valued. This confidence is not fleeting or dependent on external factors. It is a steady, enduring sense of worth that comes from a heart filled with gratitude. As gratitude fills our lives with a profound sense of self-worth, a new path unfolds, one where confidence grows through the recognition of our daily progress. Building confidence isn't always about monumental achievements. Sometimes it's the small victories that make the biggest difference. By celebrating each step forward, we start to see our strength more clearly, building a belief in ourselves that grows with each win. Let's dive into the art of focusing on small wins, a practice that nurtures resilience, fuels self-efficacy, and shows us the power of steady, incremental growth. The journey toward self-efficacy begins with a shift in mindset. Often we are conditioned to value only grand accomplishments or long-term goals, overlooking the small victories that happen along the way. Yet it is these small wins that create momentum, building a sense of accomplishment that fuels our confidence. Each time we acknowledge a minor success, we reinforce our belief in our own capabilities. This practice doesn't require grand achievements. It only asks that we stay present, recognizing the effort and progress we make each day. By doing so, we start to see ourselves not as a work in progress, always striving, but as individuals who are already capable and already achieving in meaningful ways. Focusing on small wins also shifts our perspective on growth. Rather than feeling overwhelmed by the distance between where we are and where we want to be, we start to appreciate the value of each step along the way. This focus on the journey rather than the destination builds resilience, as it reminds us that every bit of progress matters. We begin to see growth as a series of achievable actions rather than a daunting challenge, which keeps us motivated and engaged. This steady sense of accomplishment strengthens our self-efficacy, showing us that we are capable of moving forward one small win at a time. Each small win also serves as a reminder of our efforts, reinforcing our commitment to ourselves. When we acknowledge the progress we make, no matter how minor, we show ourselves that our efforts are valuable. This recognition builds self-respect as we start to see the worth in each task we undertake, knowing that every effort contributes to our growth. This mindset shifts our focus from perfection to progress, building confidence that is rooted in self-compassion and understanding. We no longer feel the pressure to be perfect. Instead, we celebrate each step, trusting that each small win brings us closer to our goals. Focusing on small wins also helps us stay consistent. Long-term goals can sometimes feel overwhelming, leading to burnout or discouragement. By breaking our journey into manageable steps, we create a pathway that is sustainable and motivating. Each small win serves as a boost, a reminder that we are moving forward, which keeps us engaged and committed. This consistency builds confidence because it shows us that we are capable of maintaining effort over time. We start to see ourselves as resilient and determined, building a self-efficacy that is strengthened by our dedication to steady, achievable progress. Another powerful benefit of celebrating small wins is that it keeps us in a positive mindset. When we focus solely on what remains to be done, we can feel discouraged, as if we are constantly striving without ever reaching a point of satisfaction. But when we take time to acknowledge our daily progress, we cultivate a mindset of positivity and gratitude. This shift in focus enhances our resilience, as we are no longer weighed down by the distance yet to be covered. Instead, we are encouraged by the progress we've already made. This positive outlook builds confidence because it reinforces our belief in our ability to achieve one step at a time. Celebrating small wins also fosters a sense of control. Large goals can sometimes feel overwhelming, as if they are beyond our reach. But when we focus on small, achievable steps, we regain a sense of agency. Each small win is a reminder that we are in control of our actions, that we have the power to shape our own journey. This sense of control builds self-efficacy because it shows us that we are capable of directing our own lives. We start to feel empowered, knowing that each choice we make brings us closer to our goals. This empowerment builds confidence as we begin to see ourselves as active creators of our own success. Focusing on small wins also enhances our ability to adapt. As we progress, we may encounter challenges or setbacks that require us to adjust our approach. By focusing on each step rather than the end goal, we become more flexible in our responses. We understand that setbacks are part of the process, and by celebrating each small win, we maintain a sense of forward momentum and confidence that helps us navigate the path ahead. Flexible and more willing to adapt our path as needed, this adaptability builds resilience because it shows us that we can handle changes without losing our momentum. We start to see ourselves as capable of navigating obstacles, which reinforces our confidence. This mindset of adaptability keeps us moving forward, even when the journey takes unexpected turns, building a self-efficacy that is both strong and flexible. Recognizing small wins also cultivates patience. Growth is rarely instant, and progress can often feel slow. But by focusing on small achievements, we develop the patience to trust the process. Each win, no matter how minor, reminds us that growth is gradual and that each step brings us closer to our goals. This patience builds confidence because it shows us that we don't need to rush. We simply need to keep moving forward. We start to trust in our own timing, knowing that steady progress is enough. This trust in the process strengthens our self-worth as we realize that our value is not defined by speed, but by the dedication we bring to each step. Each small win also serves as a foundation for future success. When we recognize our progress, we build a track record of achievement that reinforces our belief in our abilities. This cumulative confidence becomes a source of resilience as we start to see ourselves as capable of handling challenges and achieving our goals. Each small win adds to our self-efficacy, showing us that we have already accomplished much and are capable of continuing forward. This sense of accomplishment builds confidence because it reminds us that we are not starting from zero, but building on a foundation of past successes, each one contributing to our strength. Celebrating small wins also helps us maintain a sense of balance. When we focus solely on major achievements, we can sometimes neglect other aspects of life, becoming consumed by a single goal. But when we take time to appreciate each small step, we create a more balanced approach to growth. This balance builds resilience as it reminds us that progress doesn't require sacrificing our well-being. We start to see that growth can be gentle, that we can achieve our goals without losing sight of the present. This balanced approach reinforces our confidence because it shows us that we are capable of growth without burnout, capable of moving forward in a way that honors our overall well-being. Focusing on small wins builds a mindset of gratitude. Each small achievement becomes a reason to be thankful, a reminder of our progress and effort. This gratitude strengthens our self-worth as it reminds us that we are capable of growth and worthy of our own appreciation. This gratitude builds confidence because it creates a positive feedback loop where each win fuels our belief in ourselves. We start to see our journey not as a constant struggle, but as a series of fulfilling steps, each one bringing us closer to our goals. This mindset of gratitude creates a sense of inner abundance, a confidence that is grounded in appreciation for our own progress. By focusing on small wins, we create a life that is rich in meaning, progress, and fulfillment. Each step forward strengthens our self-efficacy, building a confidence that grows with each achievement, no matter how minor. This steady, incremental growth becomes a source of resilience, reminding us that we are capable of achieving great things, one small step at a time. With this foundation of self-efficacy, we move forward with a belief in ourselves that is unshakable, knowing that we have the power to achieve our goals through dedication, patience, and daily progress. As we build confidence through small, consistent progress, an invaluable tool emerges: self-reflection. Taking time to reflect not only reinforces our sense of growth, but deepens our understanding of ourselves. Journaling, a practice treasured by Stoics for centuries, offers a structured way to capture our thoughts, track our growth, and clarify our intentions. This habit is more than just putting pen to paper. It's a pathway to seeing ourselves clearly and embracing our journey with honesty. Let's explore the transformative power of journaling for self-reflection, how it fosters inner growth, and why it strengthens confidence in profound, lasting ways. Self-reflection through journaling invites us to pause and look inward, offering a break from the constant noise of the external world. In a fast-paced life filled with obligations and distractions, this pause is powerful. By dedicating even a few minutes each day to writing, we create a space where our thoughts can unfold without judgment. This act of capturing our feelings, insights, and struggles helps us understand our inner landscape with clarity and compassion. With each entry, we strengthen our self-awareness, learning to listen to our own voice instead of being swayed by external influences. This clarity and self-perception builds confidence, rooted in knowing ourselves fully, enabling us to move through life with authenticity and purpose. Journaling also helps us track our progress over time. Each entry becomes a snapshot of a particular moment, capturing our thoughts, challenges, and achievements. As we look back on these entries, we start to see patterns, areas where we've grown, lessons we've learned, and strengths we've developed. This retrospective view reinforces our belief in our ability to change and improve. Even on days when progress feels slow, our past reflections remind us of how far we've come. This realization builds resilience, as it shows us that growth is not always visible in the present moment, but becomes clear over time. This consistent reminder of progress strengthens our confidence, reassuring us that we are capable of evolving through steady effort. A powerful benefit of journaling is the insight it offers into our values and priorities. When we take time to write, our thoughts naturally reveal what matters most to us. Patterns emerge, showing us the recurring themes in our lives, the goals, relationships, and passions that bring us joy and fulfillment. This clarity allows us to align our actions with our true values, creating a life that feels authentic and purposeful. Knowing that we are living in alignment with our values enhances our self-worth, as it shows us that our choices reflect who we genuinely are. This alignment between values and actions builds confidence because it removes any inner conflict, creating a sense of peace and assurance that strengthens our self-image. Journaling also provides a healthy outlet for processing emotions. Life brings a range of experiences, and some of them are challenging or painful. By putting our feelings into words, we give ourselves permission to acknowledge and explore these emotions without judgment. This process of emotional release is therapeutic, allowing us to move through difficult feelings rather than bottling them up. As we write, we start to see that our emotions are temporary, passing like waves, rather than defining who we are. This understanding builds resilience because it reminds us that we can handle our feelings, even the difficult ones. This emotional awareness strengthens our confidence as we become comfortable facing our full range of emotions, knowing that they are part of our human experience. Experienced through journaling, we also develop a habit of gratitude. When we reflect on our day, we often find small moments to appreciate: a kind gesture, a personal achievement, a meaningful conversation. By acknowledging these moments in writing, we cultivate a mindset of gratitude that shifts our focus from what's lacking to what we already have. This gratitude reinforces our self-worth, reminding us that our lives are filled with valuable experiences and relationships. This positive outlook builds confidence because it shifts our focus from external achievements to internal contentment. We start to see that happiness doesn't depend on reaching a specific goal, but can be found in our everyday lives, which strengthens our self-image and creates a sense of fulfillment. Journaling also offers a practical way to set intentions and track goals. When we put our goals into words, we clarify our vision, making it easier to focus on what truly matters. Each day's reflection can include a reminder of these goals, helping us stay aligned with our purpose. This habit of intentionality builds discipline as it keeps us accountable to ourselves. By tracking our goals over time, we gain confidence in our ability to follow through and keep the promises we make to ourselves. This discipline strengthens our self-efficacy because it shows us that we are capable of setting and achieving meaningful objectives, building a confidence that is grounded in our commitment to growth. One of the most profound aspects of journaling is its ability to help us reframe negative experiences. When we encounter a challenge, writing about it allows us to gain perspective and see the situation from a more objective standpoint. This distance enables us to find lessons in our struggles, viewing obstacles not as failures, but as opportunities for growth. By practicing this reframing in our journals, we develop a mindset that seeks the positive in every situation. This resilience builds confidence as we learn to trust in our ability to overcome difficulties and find value even in hardship. We start to see ourselves as resourceful and capable, strengthening our self-worth with each reframed experience. Journaling also cultivates patience, an essential quality for long-term growth. When we write regularly, we start to see that progress is gradual, that change takes time. This understanding fosters patience with ourselves, teaching us that growth is not a race, but a journey. Each entry becomes a testament to our dedication, a reminder that small, consistent actions lead to meaningful results. This patience builds resilience because it helps us stay committed even when progress feels slow. This commitment to steady growth strengthens our confidence as we realize that we are capable of achieving great things, one step at a time. Another key benefit of journaling is that it helps us recognize and challenge our limiting beliefs. As we write about our thoughts and experiences, we may notice recurring patterns, beliefs that hold us back, or negative self-talk that undermines our confidence. By bringing these beliefs into awareness, we create an opportunity to question them, asking if they are truly serving us. This self-awareness allows us to replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones, creating a mindset that supports our growth rather than hindering it. This shift in mindset builds confidence because it frees us from self-imposed limitations, showing us that we are capable of more than we once believed. Self-reflection through journaling also enhances our problem-solving skills. When we write about a challenge, we often start to see solutions that weren't initially apparent. The act of putting our thoughts into words clarifies our thinking, helping us approach problems with a fresh perspective. This problem-solving ability builds resilience, as it shows us that we are capable of finding solutions even in difficult situations. Each challenge we overcome through this process reinforces our belief in our resourcefulness, strengthening our confidence. We start to see ourselves as capable problem solvers, individuals who can handle whatever life brings, which enhances our self-efficacy and sense of empowerment. Journaling also deepens our sense of self-compassion. As we reflect on our experiences, we start to see ourselves with greater understanding and empathy. We recognize that growth includes setbacks, and challenges are part of the journey. This compassion allows us to forgive ourselves for mistakes and treat ourselves with kindness rather than criticism. This self-compassion builds resilience as it creates a safe inner environment where we feel supported rather than judged. This support strengthens our confidence as we start to see ourselves not as flawed but as human, capable of learning and growing in our own time. Each time we journal, we strengthen our connection to ourselves, building a relationship that is grounded in trust, understanding, and appreciation. This connection enhances our confidence because it shows us that we are never alone. We are our own source of support and encouragement. This inner relationship becomes a foundation for resilience, helping us face life's challenges with a steady, grounded sense of self. We start to see ourselves as individuals who are capable of growth, learning, and transformation, individuals who are worthy of our own attention and care. As we make journaling a regular practice, it becomes a tool not only for reflection, but for transformation. Each entry reinforces our commitment to ourselves, reminding us that we are actively shaping our own journey. This sense of agency builds confidence because it shows us that we are not passive participants in life. We are active creators, capable of directing our growth. This self-directed growth strengthens our self-worth as we realize that we are capable of becoming the person we aspire to be. With this practice of journaling, we deepen our confidence and resilience, building a self-image that is rooted in awareness and self-acceptance. Now let's explore the art of embracing humility without self-doubt, discovering how to balance a healthy sense of self with the wisdom of humility. This balance will further enhance our journey, creating a confidence that is both strong and humble, a foundation for authentic growth and fulfillment. Journaling brings us closer to our true selves, revealing our strengths, growth, and lessons. Humility, far from diminishing our worth, enhances it, grounding us in the understanding that confidence and self-worth don't require arrogance or superiority. Humility allows us to see our strengths and limitations honestly, fostering a balanced self-image that neither overestimates nor undervalues our capabilities. Let's explore how embracing humility while maintaining a strong, unshakable sense of self creates a confidence that is genuine, compassionate, and deeply rooted. Humility invites us to recognize that our worth is not dependent on being better than others. It allows us to see our strengths without the need to compare, to be proud of our achievements without seeking validation through superiority. When we embrace humility, we're able to celebrate others' successes as well as our own, building relationships that are rooted in respect and empathy. This perspective reinforces our self-confidence because it shows us that our value isn't contingent on external validation. Instead, it comes from within, from our own understanding of who we are and what we bring to the world. This shift from comparison to self-acceptance creates a stable foundation for confidence and self-worth. Grounded confidence that is both humble and resilient embraces humility and also enhances our openness to learning. When we believe that we know everything or have nothing left to improve, we close ourselves off to growth. But humility keeps us curious, reminding us that there is always more to understand, more to learn. This openness builds resilience because it allows us to approach each experience, even mistakes, as opportunities for growth. Each lesson learned becomes a source of strength, reinforcing our belief in our ability to adapt and improve. This willingness to learn strengthens our confidence because it shows us that we are capable of evolving, capable of becoming better versions of ourselves without needing to prove our worth. Humility encourages us to accept our imperfections. In a world that often pressures us to appear flawless, humility reminds us that perfection is neither attainable nor necessary. When we embrace our imperfections, we create a self-image that is honest and compassionate. We stop seeing our flaws as failures and start viewing them as part of our unique journey. This acceptance builds resilience because it allows us to approach life without the fear of being judged or criticized. We know that our worth isn't diminished by our imperfections. In fact, they are what make us real and relatable. This acceptance of our whole selves, flaws included, strengthens our confidence, showing us that we are worthy just as we are. Humility also fosters stronger, more genuine connections with others. When we embrace humility, we approach others with respect, listening to their perspectives and valuing their contributions. This creates relationships that are based on mutual understanding rather than competition. These connections build resilience because they provide us with a support system that values us for who we are, not for what we achieve. Knowing that we are respected and valued by others reinforces our confidence, as it reminds us that we don't have to strive for approval. We are accepted and appreciated in our authentic state. An important aspect of humility is the ability to accept constructive criticism. When we are overly defensive, we miss opportunities to grow. But humility allows us to approach feedback with an open mind, seeing it not as an attack, but as a chance to learn. This openness to feedback builds resilience, as it shows us that we can handle criticism without losing our self-worth. We start to see feedback as a tool for improvement rather than a judgment of our abilities. This willingness to grow strengthens our confidence because it shows us that we are capable of handling both praise and criticism with grace, knowing that our worth is not threatened by others' opinions. Humility also cultivates gratitude. When we recognize that our achievements are often the result of support, guidance, or even luck, we start to see ourselves as part of a larger network of people and experiences that contribute to our success. This gratitude builds resilience because it reminds us that we are not alone in our journey. We are supported by others. This awareness reinforces our confidence as we see that our worth is not diminished by acknowledging others' contributions. Instead, it grows as we become grateful for the relationships and opportunities that have shaped us. Embracing humility also helps us manage our expectations. When we have an inflated sense of self, we may expect constant success, leading to disappointment when things don't go as planned. Humility, however, keeps us grounded, reminding us that setbacks are a natural part of growth. This realistic outlook builds resilience as it helps us navigate challenges without feeling defeated. We start to see each setback as a temporary event, one that doesn't define our worth or potential. This balanced approach to expectations strengthens our confidence because it allows us to pursue our goals without the fear of failure, knowing that each experience contributes to our growth. Humility also fosters patience, an essential quality for long-term growth. When we embrace humility, we understand that progress takes time and effort. We become less focused on instant results and more appreciative of steady, meaningful progress. This patience builds resilience as it helps us stay committed to our journey even when progress feels slow. We start to see ourselves as capable of sustained effort, building confidence in our ability to keep moving forward, no matter how gradual the journey may be. This patience allows us to enjoy the process, creating a sense of fulfillment that isn't dependent on immediate success. An essential part of humility is acknowledging our limitations. Often, confidence is mistaken for the belief that we can do everything perfectly, but true confidence recognizes that we all have areas where we can grow, skills we can improve, and knowledge we can gain. When we embrace our limitations, we create a realistic self-image that values both our strengths and areas for improvement. This balanced view of ourselves builds resilience, as it reminds us that we don't have to be perfect to be valuable. We start to see that our worth is not diminished by what we don't know. It's enhanced by our willingness to learn. This realistic self-assessment strengthens our confidence as we accept ourselves fully, limitations and all. Embracing humility also teaches us the value of service. When we focus solely on our own success, we can become isolated, losing sight of the joy that comes from helping others. Humility encourages us to look beyond ourselves and use our strengths in ways that benefit those around us. This sense of purpose builds resilience because it reminds us that our worth is not only in what we achieve, but in how we contribute to others' lives. We start to see ourselves as valuable members of a community, reinforcing our confidence as we realize that our contributions matter, that our actions make a difference. A significant benefit of humility is that it keeps us grounded in our values. When we are humble, we are less likely to be swayed by others' opinions or by the need for external approval. This focus on our own values builds resilience as it reminds us that our worth is not defined by others' expectations, but by our own principles. We start to see that true confidence comes from living in alignment with our values, creating a self-assurance that is steady and unwavering. This alignment strengthens our confidence because it shows us that we are capable of staying true to ourselves, even in a world that often encourages us to conform. Forgiveness for ourselves and others. When we are humble, we recognize that we all make mistakes and that imperfection is a shared human experience. This understanding builds resilience as it helps us move forward without carrying the weight of past mistakes. We start to see ourselves as capable of growth and change, creating a self-image that is forgiving and kind. This compassion strengthens our confidence because it shows us that we don't have to be flawless to be worthy. We are valuable just as we are, capable of learning from our experiences without being defined by them. By embracing humility, we cultivate a confidence that is both strong and gentle, a self-assurance that values growth over perfection, compassion over comparison. Each step forward reinforces our understanding that we are worthy, not because of our achievements, but because of our willingness to learn, to grow, and to contribute meaningfully to the world around us. This humility-based confidence is unshakable, grounded in self-awareness, resilience, and a deep sense of purpose. As we embrace humility with strength, grounded in an inner self-assurance, we begin to uncover deeper layers of resilience and confidence. Yet there are times when confidence falters, when self-doubt creeps in, making us question our worth or abilities. During these moments, Stoic philosophy offers timeless wisdom, practical tools to renew and rebuild confidence from within. Let's explore 6 powerful Stoic principles that are uniquely designed to restore confidence, foster resilience, and remind us of the unshakable strength we hold inside. 1. Internal focus. Stoicism teaches us to seek stability within ourselves, reminding us that true confidence is built on our values, not on external circumstances. When we lose confidence, it's often because we are overly influenced by outside opinions, events, or fleeting successes. One powerful Stoic approach to reclaiming confidence is through the principle of internal focus, directing our attention to what is within our control. Life constantly presents us with situations that are outside our influence, yet our responses, our choices, and our mindset are fully within our control. By shifting our focus from outcomes to effort, from others' judgment to our own values, we begin to rebuild confidence on a solid foundation. Each time we focus on what we can control, we strengthen our inner resilience, reminding ourselves that our worth is not dependent on anything outside of us. This focus on control cultivates a steady confidence that doesn't waver with external changes. 2. Examining our thoughts and beliefs. Another essential Stoic practice for restoring confidence is the regular examination of our thoughts and beliefs. The Stoics believed that our thoughts shape our reality, that the way we interpret events determines our emotional responses. When self-doubt arises, it's often because we're holding on to negative or limiting beliefs about ourselves. Through self-examination, we can identify these beliefs and challenge them, asking if they are really true or if they're simply based on fear. This process of questioning our thoughts allows us to let go of narratives that no longer serve us, replacing them with empowering beliefs that align with our values. Each time we engage in this practice, we reclaim our confidence, strengthening our sense of self by choosing beliefs that uplift and support us. We start to see ourselves as capable, resilient individuals, guided not by fear, but by wisdom. 3. Acceptance. Stoicism also encourages us to cultivate resilience through acceptance. Life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and unexpected changes. When we resist these realities, we create inner turmoil, feeling as if we've failed or fallen short. But the Stoics teach us that acceptance is a path to inner peace and confidence. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means acknowledging what is beyond our control and choosing to focus on what we can influence. By embracing acceptance, we free ourselves from the frustration of trying to change the unchangeable. This acceptance builds resilience because it shows us that we are capable of handling any situation with grace. Each time we practice acceptance, we strengthen our confidence as we realize that we don't need everything to go our way in order to feel secure and strong. Focusing on small, achievable goals. Another powerful Stoic technique for regaining confidence is to focus on small, achievable goals. When confidence wanes, large goals can feel overwhelming, creating a sense of inadequacy. But by breaking our journey into manageable steps, we create a pathway that feels attainable and motivating. Each small achievement becomes a source of pride, a reminder that we are making progress, even if it's gradual. This focus on small wins helps rebuild our confidence, showing us that growth is a process, not a destination. With each step forward, we reinforce our belief in our abilities, creating a confidence that is grounded in real, tangible progress. We no longer feel pressured to achieve grand success overnight. Instead, we appreciate the steady, meaningful journey we are on. 5th, gratitude. The Stoic practice of gratitude also plays a crucial role in restoring confidence. When we feel insecure, it's easy to focus on what's missing or what we lack. But gratitude shifts our perspective, helping us see the abundance that already exists in our lives. By regularly reflecting on what we're grateful for, our strengths, our relationships, our experiences, we begin to see ourselves in a more positive light. This practice of gratitude strengthens our self-worth, reminding us that we are already enough. With gratitude, we cultivate a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity, which builds confidence by shifting our focus from deficiency to fulfillment. Each moment of gratitude reinforces our sense of self-worth, showing us that our lives are filled with value even in challenging times. 6. Self-compassion. Stoicism teaches the importance of self-compassion, an often overlooked but essential quality for confidence. When we are hard on ourselves, constantly criticizing our mistakes or perceived flaws, we undermine our own confidence. But self-compassion allows us to approach ourselves with kindness, to recognize that growth includes both success and failure. The Stoics remind us that imperfection is part of the human experience and that mistakes are not signs of weakness, but opportunities to learn. By treating ourselves with the same compassion we would offer a friend, we create a supportive inner environment that fosters resilience and self-worth. Each act of self-compassion rebuilds our confidence, showing us that we are deserving of our own kindness and respect. We begin to see ourselves as individuals who are capable of growth, individuals who are worthy of understanding and encouragement. As we integrate these 6 Stoic principles into our lives, we create a confidence that is steady, resilient, and grounded in self-awareness. These practices remind us that confidence is not a fixed trait. It's a quality we can nurture, a strength we can cultivate through mindful, intentional actions. With these tools, we regain our sense of self-worth, building a foundation of inner strength that carries us forward no matter what life brings. As we explore Stoic practices to restore confidence, it becomes clear that true, lasting self-esteem is rooted in principles that go beyond fleeting successes or external validation. Indestructible self-esteem comes from within, founded on resilience, purpose, and inner strength that remains steady regardless of life's challenges. Stoicism offers timeless wisdom, key principles that form a powerful framework for self-worth that cannot be shaken by changing circumstances. These are not just ideas, they are practical, enduring pillars for a life lived with dignity, strength, and self-assuredness. Let's dive deeply into 9 Stoic keys that build and sustain indestructible self-esteem, empowering us to navigate life with unwavering confidence and purpose. We learn to find value in our adaptability, in our ability to thrive through change. This adaptability reinforces self-esteem as it reminds us that we are strong enough to handle whatever life brings, unshaken by the uncertainty of external circumstances. A third key to indestructible self-esteem is the cultivation of self-discipline. Stoicism teaches that discipline is essential for a life of purpose and inner strength. Self-discipline isn't about depriving ourselves. It's about choosing actions that align with our values and goals, even when they require effort or sacrifice. Each time we practice discipline, whether by following through on a commitment or resisting an unhelpful impulse, we build self-respect. This respect grows our self-esteem because it shows us that we can rely on ourselves to stay true to our intentions. Through discipline, we gain a deeper sense of self-control, a quality that reinforces our confidence as we learn that we are capable of directing our own lives. The Stoic principle of inner focus is also essential for self-esteem. In a world that constantly demands our attention through distractions and external influences, cultivating an inner focus allows us to stay grounded. This focus is about directing our attention to our own values, goals, and beliefs rather than being swayed by what others think or do. By maintaining this focus, we build a strong sense of self, one that isn't easily influenced or shaken by external opinions. Each moment of inner focus strengthens self-esteem because it shows us that our worth is rooted in our own path, not in the comparisons we might make with others. This unwavering attention to our own journey creates a confidence that doesn't waver, a self-esteem that stands firm regardless of outside opinions. Another powerful key to lasting self-esteem is cultivating resilience in the face of adversity. Life presents us with challenges, and how we respond to them shapes our self-image. Stoicism teaches that every obstacle is an opportunity to grow, to build strength through endurance. By facing adversity with courage, we develop a resilient self-worth that doesn't crumble under pressure. Each time we overcome a challenge, we reinforce our belief in our strength, creating a self-esteem that is built on real, tangible experience. This resilience reminds us that we are not defined by our circumstances. We are defined by our ability to rise above them, creating a sense of self-worth that is unbreakable. Gratitude is another Stoic principle that greatly enhances self-esteem. By focusing on what we have, rather than what we lack, gratitude shifts our perspective from deficiency to abundance. This mindset fosters self-worth by reminding us that our lives are already filled with valuable experiences, relationships, and qualities. Each moment of gratitude strengthens our self-esteem as it shows us that we are already enough, that we don't need to constantly strive for more to feel valuable. This contentment builds a steady confidence as we learn to appreciate the present moment, reinforcing a self-worth that isn't dependent on future achievements or external gains. The Stoic practice of maintaining perspective is also essential for strong self-esteem. Often, we magnify our flaws or mistakes, allowing them to overshadow our strengths. But Stoicism teaches us to see things as they are, without exaggeration. Maintaining perspective allows us to recognize our setbacks without letting them define us, to see our mistakes as part of a larger journey. This balanced view builds self-esteem as it reminds us that our worth isn't diminished by occasional errors, it's enhanced by our ability to learn from them. This clarity in self-perception fosters resilience as it helps us see ourselves with honesty and compassion, reinforcing a sense of worth that is grounded in reality, not perfection. A crucial Stoic key for self-esteem is living in alignment with one's values. When we act according to our own principles, we create a life that feels true and meaningful. This alignment is empowering as it shows us that we are capable of choosing our path, of creating a life that reflects who we genuinely are. Each decision made in alignment with our values strengthens our self-esteem, as it shows us that we are living authentically, not for others' approval. This authenticity builds confidence because it removes any need for pretense or validation. We know that we are true to ourselves, creating a self-worth that is unwavering and real. Stoicism teaches the importance of practicing humility without self-doubt. Humility allows us to recognize our limitations without diminishing our worth. This balance creates a self-esteem that is both strong and grounded, as it shows us that we don't need to be flawless to be valuable. Each moment of humility reminds us that we are human, that growth includes both strengths and imperfections. This acceptance of our whole selves reinforces self-esteem, as it allows us to move forward with confidence, knowing that we are enough just as we are. This blend of humility and strength creates a resilient, indestructible self-worth that is both humble and powerful, capable of facing life's challenges with grace. With these 9 Stoic keys, we build a foundation of self-esteem that is steady, resilient, and unbreakable. Each principle reinforces our worth from within, creating a confidence that does not rely on external achievements or validation. These Stoic practices empower us to navigate life with dignity, strength, and purpose, building a self-esteem that is truly indestructible. Drawing from the indestructible foundation of self-esteem we've cultivated through Stoic principles, there lies a powerful source of inner strength that is essential for facing life's uncertainties and challenges. This strength is not about physical force or dominance. It's a quiet, resilient energy within us, one that is grounded in self-knowledge, purpose, and the ability to weather storms with calm resolve. Stoicism offers timeless insights and practices that help us access this strength and build it into a constant source of courage, resilience, and clarity. Let's delve into the ways Stoicism teaches us to discover and cultivate this inner strength, unlocking a power that enables us to meet each moment of life with confidence and grace. At the heart of inner strength is the practice of self-mastery. Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from mastering our reactions and impulses rather than letting them control us. By cultivating self-mastery, we learn to respond to situations thoughtfully rather than reacting emotionally. This control over our reactions creates a solid foundation for inner strength because it shows us that we are capable of staying calm even in the face of adversity. Each moment of self-mastery builds our resilience as it reinforces our ability to choose our actions consciously rather than being driven by fleeting emotions. This control strengthens our confidence because it reminds us that we are in charge of our responses, creating a strength that is grounded in discipline and clarity. Another essential aspect of finding inner strength is embracing the Stoic principle of acceptance. Life is filled with situations that are beyond our control, and resisting them only creates inner turmoil. By practicing acceptance, we learn to let go of the need to control every outcome, freeing ourselves from unnecessary stress. This acceptance builds resilience as it allows us to face each situation with calm resolve, knowing that we can handle whatever comes our way. This openness to life's unpredictability strengthens our inner strength, as it teaches us to trust our ability to adapt and grow, even when things don't go as planned. Each moment of acceptance reinforces our belief in our own resilience, showing us that we are capable of navigating life's uncertainties with peace and confidence. Another powerful source of inner strength in Stoicism is the focus on purpose. When we have a clear sense of purpose, we gain powerful motivation that carries us through difficult times. Purpose provides us with direction, a reason to keep going even when challenges arise. Each day that we live in alignment with our purpose, we strengthen our inner resolve, as it reminds us that our lives have meaning and value. This sense of purpose reinforces our resilience, as it gives us something greater than ourselves to strive for. With purpose, we build an unshakable strength that isn't easily deterred by obstacles, as we know that our journey is meaningful even when the path is challenging. Stoicism also teaches us to develop resilience by embracing discomfort. Life will inevitably bring pain, loss, and hardship, but rather than avoiding these experiences, Stoicism encourages us to face them head-on. By willingly embracing discomfort, we learn to see it as an opportunity for growth rather than a source of fear. This approach builds resilience, as it teaches us to be comfortable with challenges, knowing that they strengthen us over time. Each time we face discomfort, we reinforce our belief in our own strength, creating a confidence that is rooted in experience rather than avoidance. This resilience creates a strength that is both adaptable and enduring, as it shows us that we are capable of handling life's difficulties without losing our sense of self. A crucial part of inner strength is self-awareness. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of knowing oneself deeply, understanding one's values, motivations, and goals. This self-awareness provides a foundation for inner strength, as it gives us a clear sense of who we are and what matters to us. With this knowledge, we become less influenced by external pressures or distractions, staying focused on our own path. This clarity strengthens our resilience, as it allows us to make decisions that align with our values, even when faced with difficult choices. Each moment of self-awareness reinforces our belief in our own worth, as it shows us that we are capable of living a life that is true to ourselves, creating a strength that is both steady and grounded. Another vital Stoic practice for inner strength is cultivating gratitude. In times of hardship, it can be easy to focus on what's going wrong or what we lack, but gratitude shifts our perspective, helping us recognize the abundance that already exists in our lives. This mindset of gratitude builds resilience, as it reminds us that even in challenging times, there is still much to be thankful for. Each moment of gratitude strengthens our confidence, as it shows us that our worth isn't dependent on external success or achievements. We learn to see ourselves as complete, regardless of circumstances, creating a strength that is rooted in appreciation rather than scarcity. This gratitude fosters a peaceful, contented sense of self that is unshaken by temporary setbacks. Another source of inner strength in Stoicism is the ability to reframe negative experiences. When we encounter setbacks or difficulties, it's easy to view them as failures or obstacles, but Stoicism teaches us to see each challenge as an opportunity to grow, to find lessons within our struggles. This reframing builds resilience as it transforms difficulties into sources of learning and strength. Each time we reframe a negative experience, we strengthen our belief in our own resilience, as it shows us that we are capable of finding value even in hardship. This perspective shift reinforces our inner strength, as it reminds us that we are not defined by our circumstances, but by our response to them, creating a confidence that is both humble and powerful. Another key Stoic practice for inner strength is focusing on the present moment. Often we lose energy by dwelling on past mistakes or worrying about future uncertainties. By grounding ourselves in the present, we free ourselves from these distractions, allowing us to fully engage with life as it unfolds. This focus on the present builds resilience as it helps us navigate each moment with clarity and purpose. Each time we bring our attention back to the present, we reinforce our belief in our ability to handle whatever comes our way. This presence creates a strength that is both calm and attentive, as it reminds us that we are capable of facing life one moment at a time without being overwhelmed by the past or future. Another essential aspect of inner strength in Stoicism is practicing humility. Humility doesn't mean diminishing ourselves. It means recognizing our limitations without letting them define us. This balance creates a self-worth that is both strong and grounded, as it shows us that we don't need to be flawless to be valuable. Each moment of humility reinforces our resilience, as it allows us to approach life with openness and a willingness to learn. This humility creates a strength that is both adaptable and realistic, as it reminds us that we are capable of growth even through our imperfections. Challenges to this balance of humility and strength reinforce our self-esteem, as it shows us that we are enough just as we are. Stoicism teaches us the power of self-compassion. Life can be difficult, and we all make mistakes or face setbacks. By practicing self-compassion, we approach ourselves with kindness, recognizing that growth includes both success and failure. This self-compassion builds resilience as it creates a safe inner environment where we feel supported rather than judged. Each act of self-compassion strengthens our confidence as it reminds us that we are deserving of our own kindness. This support fosters a peaceful sense of self, creating a strength that is both gentle and enduring, as it shows us that we are capable of moving forward with patience and self-respect. Through these Stoic principles, we discover a source of inner strength that is unbreakable, a resilience that allows us to face life's challenges with courage and wisdom. This strength isn't about control or force. It's a quiet confidence that comes from knowing ourselves, accepting life's uncertainties, and embracing growth. With this foundation, we are equipped to handle whatever life brings, meeting each moment with a calm, steady strength that is grounded in Stoic wisdom. Having tapped into a powerful reservoir of inner strength, we now reach a vital aspect of Stoic wisdom: the journey toward true self-worth. In a world that often measures value by external success, appearance, or popularity, Stoicism invites us to define our worth differently. Here, self-worth is not something we earn or chase. It is something we cultivate from within, rooted in values, purpose, and our own intrinsic qualities. Let's explore the Stoic approach to building self-worth, a path that strengthens our sense of value beyond the influence of changing circumstances or outside opinions. Building self-worth in Stoicism begins with knowing who we are, a process of deep self-awareness. When we understand our values, beliefs, and desires, we create a foundation that cannot be shaken by others' expectations. This knowledge of self allows us to define worth on our terms, rooted in what we hold dear, rather than what society dictates. Each step we take in alignment with our values builds our self-worth, as it reminds us that we are capable of living authentically. This authenticity strengthens our sense of value, as it shows us that we are enough, just as we are, without needing validation from the outside world. Another essential Stoic principle for building self-worth is integrity. Living with integrity means acting in ways that reflect our values, regardless of who is watching. This dedication to our principles reinforces our self-respect, as it shows us that we are capable of choosing actions that align with our beliefs. Each moment of integrity strengthens our self-worth, as it reminds us that we are trustworthy, both to ourselves and to others. This consistency creates a steady, unwavering sense of value, as we learn to rely on our own moral compass rather than seeking approval or recognition. Stoicism also teaches us that self-worth comes from the quality of our character, not from external achievements or status. A strong character is built on virtues like patience, kindness, and courage, qualities that define who we are rather than what we have. Each time we embody these virtues, we strengthen our self-worth, as it shows us that we are valuable not for what we accomplish, but for how we live. This focus on character over accomplishment creates a deep, enduring sense of value, as we learn to see ourselves as worthwhile regardless of our circumstances. Another powerful Stoic approach to self-worth is the practice of self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is not about ignoring areas for growth. It's about acknowledging all aspects of ourselves without judgment. By accepting our strengths and imperfections, we create a self-image that is honest and compassionate. This acceptance builds resilience, as it frees us from the need to appear flawless. Each moment of self-acceptance reinforces our self-worth, as it shows us that we are worthy of our own compassion and that our value is not diminished by our imperfections. This genuine self-image creates a confidence that is both humble and secure, as it allows us to embrace our whole selves. The Stoic practice of focusing on internal control is also essential for building self-worth. Often, we lose confidence by trying to control outcomes, people, or situations that are beyond our influence. But Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and responses. By directing our energy to these internal factors, we build a sense of empowerment, as it reminds us that our worth isn't determined by external success. Each time we focus on our own choices, we reinforce our self-worth, as it shows us that we are capable of guiding our lives without needing to control everything around us. This focus on internal control strengthens our confidence, as it frees us from anxiety about things beyond our influence, creating a grounded sense of self-worth. Another Stoic approach to self-worth is finding purpose in service to others. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of contributing to the greater good, using our strengths to make a positive difference. This focus on service builds our self-worth, as it shifts our attention from self-centered goals to acts of kindness and support. Each time we help others, we reinforce our sense of purpose, as it reminds us that we are valuable members of a larger community. This sense of contribution creates a meaningful, lasting self-worth, as it shows us that our value isn't solely for ourselves, but extends to those we impact, adding depth to our sense of purpose. Gratitude also plays a crucial role in the Stoic journey to self-worth. By appreciating what we already have, our health, relationships, and experiences, we cultivate a mindset that focuses on abundance rather than lack. This gratitude reinforces our self-worth, as it reminds us that our lives are already filled with value. Each moment of gratitude builds a sense of contentment, as it shifts our focus from what we want to what we have. This gratitude-based self-worth creates a peaceful sense of value, as we learn to see ourselves as complete, regardless of external achievements or possessions. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of resilience in building self-worth. Life brings challenges, and our response to these challenges shapes our self-image. By facing adversity with courage and acceptance, we build a resilience that reinforces our self-worth. Each time we navigate a difficult situation, we strengthen our belief in our own strength, as it shows us that we are capable of overcoming hardship. This resilience-based self-worth is unbreakable, as it reminds us that our value is not dependent on avoiding failure, but on our ability to rise above it. A crucial Stoic practice for self-worth is focusing on progress rather than perfection. Often we place our self-worth on unattainable standards, creating a sense of inadequacy when we fall short. But Stoicism teaches us to value growth, to see each step forward as meaningful. By focusing on progress, we build a self-worth that is grounded in effort rather than achievement. Each moment of growth reinforces our confidence, as it shows us that we are valuable for our dedication to improvement. This progress-based self-worth is realistic and kind, as it allows us to embrace our journey without undue pressure. The pressure of perfection can be overwhelming. Stoicism teaches the importance of quiet self-confidence, a sense of worth that doesn't require attention or recognition. This quiet confidence is about knowing our value without needing to display it. By cultivating this inner assurance, we build a self-worth that is steady and calm, as it isn't dependent on validation from others. Each moment of quiet confidence strengthens our self-esteem, as it shows us that we are enough just as we are, without needing to prove ourselves. This quiet self-worth is resilient and enduring, as it reminds us that our value comes from within, creating a foundation that is unshaken by others' opinions. With these Stoic practices, we create a self-worth that is grounded, resilient, and unbreakable. This sense of value doesn't rely on success, approval, or appearance. It is cultivated from within, shaped by our values, character, and purpose. Through Stoic wisdom, we build a self-worth that endures, one that empowers us to live authentically, confidently, and peacefully. As we strengthen our sense of self-worth through Stoic principles, a crucial element emerges: emotional control. Life constantly brings challenges, unexpected events, and interactions that can trigger intense feelings. For many, emotions can feel overpowering, shaping actions and reactions in ways that may not align with true values. Stoicism teaches us that real strength lies in mastering these emotions, allowing us to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. This isn't about suppressing feelings, but learning to navigate them with wisdom, clarity, and resilience. Here, we'll dive into how Stoic wisdom can guide us in mastering emotional control, helping us to live with calmness and strength regardless of life's turbulence. One of the foundations of emotional control in Stoicism is the practice of mindful awareness. By becoming aware of our emotions in real time, we create a space between feeling and reacting. This awareness is not about judging or resisting our emotions, but about observing them as they arise. Each moment of awareness helps us understand our triggers, the situations or thoughts that lead to certain emotional responses. By identifying these patterns, we gain insight into how our mind works, allowing us to approach our emotions with understanding rather than resistance. This awareness strengthens our emotional resilience, as it shows us that we are capable of observing our emotions without being overtaken by them. Another powerful Stoic approach to emotional control is the principle of acceptance. Often we resist or deny our emotions, especially those that feel unpleasant or challenging. But Stoicism teaches that by accepting our emotions, we free ourselves from the inner conflict of denial. Acceptance doesn't mean surrendering to emotions, it means acknowledging them without letting them dictate our actions. This approach builds emotional strength, as it allows us to face our feelings with honesty and integrity. Each moment of acceptance reinforces our inner peace, as it shows us that we don't need to be in constant battle with our emotions. This acceptance fosters a calm, steady control over our feelings, as we learn that emotions are temporary experiences, not permanent states. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of reframing our thoughts to manage emotions effectively. Our feelings are often shaped by our interpretations of events rather than the events themselves. By challenging and reframing our thoughts, we can shift our perspective, transforming intense emotions into more manageable feelings. For example, instead of seeing a setback as a failure, we can view it as a learning opportunity. This reframing builds resilience, as it shows us that we have the power to influence our emotional responses through our mindset. Each moment of reframing strengthens our emotional control, as it reminds us that we are capable of choosing how we view our experiences. This choice creates a sense of empowerment, allowing us to handle emotions with wisdom and composure. Another essential aspect of emotional control in Stoicism is the practice of self-discipline. Emotions can be intense and sometimes urge us to act impulsively, but self-discipline helps us pause and consider our actions before reacting. This discipline isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about creating a space where we can decide how to respond. Each moment of discipline reinforces our self-control, as it shows us that we are capable of managing our emotions rather than being controlled by them. This self-discipline builds confidence, as it teaches us that we can handle our emotions with strength and clarity, making choices that align with our values rather than being swayed by fleeting feelings. A powerful Stoic tool for mastering emotions is focusing on what is within our control. When we become overly invested in outcomes or others' reactions, our emotions can become turbulent. But by focusing on what we can control, our actions, choices, and responses, we shift our attention away from external factors that often trigger anxiety or frustration. This focus on internal control fosters emotional resilience, as it shows us that our well-being doesn't depend on external events. Each time we bring our attention back to our own actions, we reinforce our emotional stability, as we learn that we are capable of maintaining peace regardless of what happens around us. This focus builds a grounded sense of control, as it reminds us that our inner state is ours to manage, independent of external forces. Another important Stoic principle for emotional control is practicing detachment. Detachment doesn't mean becoming indifferent or uncaring. It means viewing situations objectively without letting emotions cloud our judgment. This perspective allows us to see things as they are, rather than through the lens of emotional bias. By practicing detachment, we create a mental distance from our emotions, allowing us to respond with reason rather than reaction. This objectivity strengthens our emotional resilience, as it helps us approach situations with a calm, balanced mindset. Each moment of detachment reinforces our self-control, as it reminds us that we are capable of seeing beyond the immediate emotion, focusing on the bigger picture. Gratitude also plays a role in Stoic emotional control. By focusing on the positive aspects of our lives, we shift our perspective from what we lack to what we have. This mindset helps us approach our emotions with a sense of balance, as it prevents us from becoming overwhelmed by temporary setbacks or disappointments. Each moment of gratitude builds emotional stability, as it strengthens our ability to see the value in what is already present in our lives. Builds emotional resilience, as it reminds us that our lives are filled with valuable experiences and relationships. This gratitude creates a sense of contentment, which helps stabilize our emotions, creating a foundation of inner peace that is less affected by external fluctuations. Another Stoic approach to emotional control is practicing humility. Often our emotions are intensified by pride or ego, such as feeling hurt by criticism or needing validation. Humility allows us to see ourselves with honesty, reducing the influence of ego on our emotional state. By practicing humility, we free ourselves from the need for constant approval or recognition, allowing us to respond to situations with a calm, composed mindset. This humility builds resilience, as it shows us that our worth isn't diminished by others' opinions. Each moment of humility strengthens our emotional control, as it reminds us that we are enough as we are, regardless of external validation. This humility fosters a quiet confidence, as it allows us to face emotions with grace and balance. Stoicism also encourages us to embrace resilience through challenge. Life will inevitably bring difficulties, and our emotions can become heightened during these times. By seeing challenges as opportunities for growth, we shift our perspective from suffering to resilience. This approach to challenges builds emotional strength, as it shows us that we are capable of facing adversity without losing our sense of self. Each challenge we overcome reinforces our belief in our own resilience, creating a sense of self-worth that isn't easily shaken. This resilience strengthens our emotional control, as it reminds us that we are not defined by our circumstances, but by our response to them. The Stoic practice of self-compassion is also essential for emotional control. Emotions can be intense, and we may feel frustrated with ourselves for feeling certain ways. By approaching ourselves with kindness, we create a safe space where we can explore our feelings without judgment. This self-compassion builds resilience, as it allows us to accept our emotions as part of the human experience. Each moment of self-compassion strengthens our emotional control, as it reminds us that we are worthy of understanding and patience. This kindness fosters a balanced sense of self, allowing us to navigate emotions with respect rather than harshness, creating a foundation of inner peace. Through these Stoic practices, we develop powerful mastery over our emotions, learning to navigate life's ups and downs with calmness and clarity. This emotional control doesn't suppress our feelings, it empowers us to understand, accept, and guide them with wisdom. As we deepen our mastery of emotions, we create a life that is rooted in resilience, a life where we are capable of meeting each moment with courage, strength, and composure. As we cultivate emotional control and master the art of responding rather than reacting, we turn to an area that tests even the strongest inner peace: criticism. Criticism can strike at our core, challenging our confidence and sense of self. Yet Stoicism provides invaluable tools for facing criticism with resilience, viewing it not as a threat to our self-worth, but as an opportunity to grow, learn, and reinforce our values. By building resilience in the face of criticism, we strengthen our foundation, enabling ourselves to stand strong in the presence of others' opinions without compromising our integrity. Let's explore Stoic wisdom on handling criticism with dignity, fostering unbreakable confidence rooted in our own values. A key element in dealing with criticism is the Stoic practice of understanding its source. Criticism often reflects the perspective of the person delivering it rather than an objective truth about us. When we recognize that criticism comes from others' beliefs, biases, or circumstances, we can view it with detachment, freeing ourselves from the need to take it personally. This understanding builds resilience, as it allows us to separate our sense of self from others' judgments. By seeing criticism as a reflection of the critic rather than a measure of our worth, we reinforce our inner stability, creating a calm and grounded response rather than a reactive one. Another powerful Stoic practice for resilience against criticism is focusing on what we can control. We can't control others' opinions or their willingness to express them, but we can control our response. Stoicism teaches us that the only power we truly have is over our own actions and thoughts. By focusing on our response to criticism rather than the criticism itself, we shift our perspective from helplessness to empowerment. This focus builds resilience, as it reminds us that our well-being is not dependent on others' approval. Each time we choose our response, we reinforce our belief in our own agency, creating a strength that is steady and self-assured. Stoicism also encourages us to approach criticism with curiosity rather than defensiveness. Criticism can reveal valuable insights, highlighting areas where we may grow or improve. By approaching it with an open mind, we shift our perspective from feeling attacked to seeking understanding. This openness to feedback builds resilience as it transforms criticism into a tool for self-improvement. Each time we listen with curiosity, we strengthen our self-confidence, as it shows us that we are capable of growth without feeling diminished. This approach fosters a sense of calm, as it reminds us that criticism doesn't have to threaten our worth. It can support our journey of self-awareness and development. Another Stoic approach to handling criticism is practicing humility. When we maintain a humble view of ourselves, we are less likely to be overly affected by others' opinions. Humility allows us to acknowledge our imperfections without feeling defensive, to accept feedback without letting it dictate our self-worth. This humility creates resilience, as it reminds us that we don't need to be flawless to be valuable. Each moment of humility strengthens our confidence, as it shows us that we are secure in ourselves, unshaken by the opinions of others. This humble self-acceptance fosters lasting inner peace, as it frees us from the pressure to constantly prove ourselves. Stoicism also teaches the importance of reflecting on our own values. When faced with criticism, it's easy to doubt ourselves, creating insecurity. But when we remain grounded in our values, we build a sense of purpose that isn't easily swayed by others' judgments. This alignment with our own principles builds resilience, as it reminds us that our worth is defined by our values, not by others' opinions. Each time we turn to our values, we reinforce our inner strength, as it shows us that we are capable of staying true to ourselves, regardless of external feedback. This values-based resilience creates confidence that doesn't waver, as it is grounded in authenticity. The Stoic practice of detachment is also essential for resilience against criticism. Detachment doesn't mean ignoring feedback. It means not allowing criticism to control our emotions or self-image. By creating mental distance, we can observe criticism objectively, viewing it as information rather than a personal attack. This detachment builds resilience, as it frees us from the need to react emotionally to others' opinions. Each moment of detachment strengthens our self-worth, as it shows us that we are capable of handling criticism without letting it affect our sense of self. This perspective creates a calm, steady approach to feedback, allowing us to listen without being overwhelmed. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of self-compassion in the face of criticism. Criticism, especially harsh or unfair criticism, can hurt deeply, leading us to question our worth. By practicing self-compassion, we create a safe inner space where we can process feedback without feeling threatened. This compassion builds resilience, as it allows us to approach criticism with kindness toward ourselves, recognizing that we are worthy of respect and understanding. Each moment of self-compassion reinforces our belief in our own value, as it shows us that we are deserving of patience and support. This self-kindness creates a foundation of inner strength, allowing us to handle criticism with grace. Grace. Another Stoic approach to resilience is viewing criticism as a natural part of life. In a world where people have different perspectives, criticism is inevitable. By accepting criticism as a normal part of human interaction, we remove its power to unsettle us. This acceptance builds resilience, as it shows us that criticism doesn't have to disrupt our peace. Each time we approach criticism with acceptance, we reinforce our inner calm, reminding us that we are capable of handling life's realities without resistance. This perspective creates a balanced response to criticism, allowing us to accept feedback without letting it define us. Gratitude also plays a role in resilience against criticism. By focusing on our strengths, achievements, and positive qualities, we create a sense of self-worth that is not easily shaken by others' opinions. This gratitude builds resilience as it shifts our focus from deficiency to abundance. Each moment of gratitude reinforces our self-esteem as it shows us that we are already valuable. This gratitude-based resilience creates a peaceful sense of self-worth, as it allows us to see ourselves as complete regardless of others' feedback. Stoicism encourages us to maintain perspective when faced with criticism. It's easy to let one piece of feedback overshadow our achievements or strengths, but perspective helps us see criticism as a small part of a larger picture. This balanced view builds resilience as it reminds us that our worth isn't defined by a single opinion. Each time we maintain perspective, we reinforce our confidence as it shows us that we are more than any criticism. This perspective creates a sense of self-worth that is both humble and strong, allowing us to see ourselves in a balanced, realistic way. Through these Stoic practices, we cultivate resilience against criticism, learning to navigate feedback with calmness, self-assurance, and dignity. This resilience doesn't ignore or reject feedback. It allows us to handle criticism with wisdom, creating a life where we are confident in our values and worth, regardless of others' opinions. With the strength to handle criticism gracefully, we remain true to ourselves. Next, we turn to a deeper challenge, liberating ourselves from fear and doubt. These emotions can paralyze growth, stifle joy, and hold us back from experiencing life fully. Stoicism, with its focus on internal control, acceptance, and resilience, offers powerful tools to release these limiting forces, helping us cultivate a fearless, purposeful way of living. Breaking free from fear and doubt isn't about becoming immune to them, but rather transforming how we respond, enabling us to face life's uncertainties with confidence and courage. Let's explore how Stoicism guides us on this journey to break free from the chains of fear and doubt, empowering us to step boldly into a life of freedom and strength. A foundational Stoic principle in overcoming fear and doubt is distinguishing between what we can control and what we cannot. Fear and doubt often arise when we focus on external factors beyond our influence, outcomes, other people's reactions, or unforeseen circumstances. By narrowing our focus to what is within our control, our own actions, choices, and attitudes, we ground ourselves in a space of empowerment. Each time we shift our attention back to our own choices, we reduce the grip of fear as we recognize that our inner peace doesn't rely on things we cannot influence. This perspective builds resilience as it reminds us that while we cannot always control what happens, we can always choose how we respond. This focus on internal control creates a profound sense of freedom, allowing us to let go of the anxieties tied to uncontrollable elements. Another powerful Stoic approach to breaking free from fear is the practice of acceptance. Fear often stems from resistance, a resistance to uncertainty, loss, or discomfort. By practicing acceptance, we release the need to control every aspect of our lives, embracing the unpredictable nature of existence. This acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means finding peace within the reality that life contains both joy and challenge. Each moment of acceptance reduces the hold of fear as it shows us that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way without resistance. This openness to life's ebb and flow builds resilience as it reminds us that our strength lies in adaptability, not in control. This acceptance-based approach fosters a deep inner calm, allowing us to live with courage rather than fear. Stoicism also encourages us to face our fears directly, seeing them as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles. When we avoid or suppress fear, it often intensifies, creating an internal struggle that drains our energy. By confronting our fears with curiosity and openness, we begin to understand their roots, allowing us to address them more effectively. Each time we face a fear rather than avoiding it, we build courage as we prove to ourselves that we are capable of handling discomfort. This courage-based approach to fear strengthens our resilience as it shows us that we are not defined by our fears, but by our ability to confront them. This willingness to face fear fosters a sense of empowerment, creating a life where we are free to take risks, embrace challenges, and live fully. Another Stoic practice that helps us overcome doubt is the cultivation of self-trust. Doubt often arises when we question our own abilities or decisions, creating uncertainty about our path. By cultivating self-trust through consistent mindful actions, we build a foundation of confidence that isn't easily shaken. Each time we follow through on a commitment or make a choice aligned with our values, we reinforce our belief in our own capability. This self-trust builds resilience, as it reminds us that we are capable of guiding our own lives, regardless of external validation. This inner confidence creates freedom from doubt, showing us that we can rely on ourselves to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and strength. A vital Stoic practice for overcoming fear and doubt is focusing on the present moment. Fear often lives in the future, in the realm of what-ifs and unknowns, while doubt frequently arises from past regrets or missed opportunities. By grounding ourselves in the present, we free ourselves from these mental traps, allowing us to experience life as it is, rather than as we fear it might be. Each moment of presence reduces the power of fear and doubt, as it shows us that we are capable of handling this moment right here and now. This focus on the present builds resilience, as it reminds us that our peace doesn't rely on future outcomes or past mistakes. This present-centered approach fosters a calm, steady confidence, allowing us to move forward without being weighed down by worries or doubts. Another Stoic technique for breaking free from fear is the practice of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean apathy. It means releasing our emotional dependence on specific outcomes or results. Often fear arises when we become overly attached to a particular goal, fearing failure or loss. By practicing detachment, we free ourselves from the need for things to turn out a certain way, embracing life's uncertainties with openness. This detachment builds resilience, as it reminds us that our worth is not tied to any particular outcome. Each moment of detachment strengthens our inner peace, showing us that we are complete, regardless of circumstances. Attachment creates a bold, fearless approach to life, as it allows us to pursue our dreams without the weight of anxiety or fear of failure. Another crucial Stoic principle for overcoming doubt is humility. Doubt often stems from a desire for perfection or a fear of making mistakes. Humility allows us to accept our limitations without diminishing our worth, recognizing that growth includes both successes and setbacks. Each moment of humility reduces the impact of doubt, as it shows us that we don't need to be flawless to be valuable. This humility builds resilience, as it frees us from the pressure of perfection, creating a sense of self-worth that is both realistic and grounded. This balanced approach fosters a calm, steady confidence, allowing us to pursue our goals without fear of falling short. Gratitude also plays a significant role in breaking free from fear and doubt. By focusing on what we already have, our strengths, relationships, and experiences, we create a sense of abundance rather than lack. This gratitude reduces fear as it shifts our perspective from scarcity to fullness. Each moment of gratitude builds resilience as it reminds us that our lives are already filled with value, independent of future achievements or challenges. This gratitude-based approach fosters a deep sense of contentment, allowing us to move forward without being driven by fear or doubt. Another Stoic approach to overcoming fear and doubt is reframing our perspective on failure. Fear often arises from the possibility of failure, creating a sense of dread about taking risks or trying new things. By viewing failure as a learning experience rather than a setback, we transform our relationship with fear, seeing it as a stepping stone rather than an obstacle. This reframing builds resilience as it reminds us that each failure brings us closer to growth. Each moment of reframing strengthens our courage as it shows us that we are capable of handling failure with grace and dignity. This growth-centered perspective creates a fearless approach to life, allowing us to embrace challenges without fear of falling short. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate a sense of purpose, a guiding principle that transcends fear and doubt. When we are clear about our purpose, we gain a powerful motivation that carries us through moments of uncertainty. This purpose creates a sense of direction, reminding us that our lives have meaning beyond temporary challenges or setbacks. Each day that we live in alignment with our purpose builds resilience as it reinforces our belief in our own value. This purpose-based approach fosters a deep, lasting confidence, allowing us to face life's uncertainties with courage and resolve. Through these Stoic principles, we free ourselves from the confines of fear and doubt, creating a life of courage, resilience, and inner peace. This freedom doesn't ignore life's challenges. It empowers us to face them with wisdom and strength, grounded in a confidence that is unshaken by external circumstances. Embracing life without the weight of fear or the constraints of external expectations is a pursuit many long for yet struggle to fully realize. As we move forward on this journey, Stoicism invites us to uncover the essence of authentic, fearless living, a life grounded in truth, guided by inner values, and untouched by the shifting winds of others' opinions. True authenticity is about connecting with our deepest principles, making choices aligned with who we truly are rather than who we feel we should be. This Stoic path, rich in courage and resilience, shows us how to live boldly, fully, and genuinely. Let's explore how Stoic wisdom lights the way toward an authentic and fearless existence, empowering us to break free from limitations and embrace our unique journey with strength and purpose. A core aspect of the Stoic path to authenticity is understanding and embracing our own values. In a world that constantly tries to shape our identity through societal expectations, cultural norms, or family influences, it's easy to lose touch with what genuinely matters to us. But Stoicism teaches that authenticity begins with self-awareness, a deep understanding of our beliefs, aspirations, and non-negotiables. When we are clear about our values, we gain a sense of direction that isn't easily swayed by others' expectations. Each decision we make in alignment with these values builds a life that feels true, a life that isn't borrowed from others' desires, but is our own creation. This clarity brings freedom as it reminds us that we are living on our own terms, creating a foundation that is steady and unshakable. Another powerful component of authentic living in Stoicism is practicing self-honesty. Authenticity requires that we be honest with ourselves, acknowledging our strengths, limitations, desires, and fears without pretense. By embracing this honesty, we release the need for approval or validation, focusing instead on what is real and meaningful to us. Each moment of self-honesty strengthens our confidence as it shows us that we are capable of accepting ourselves without masks or facades. This unfiltered self-acceptance creates resilience as it reminds us that we don't need to perform or pretend to find worth. Instead, we can live in a way that feels right, nurturing a sense of self that is pure and unaltered by external influence. Stoicism also teaches us the importance of letting go of comparison. Comparing ourselves to others often leads us to doubt our own path, questioning whether we measure up or if we're enough. But when we focus on our unique journey, we recognize that our worth isn't determined by how we compare to others, but by how we live in accordance with our own values. Each time we release the need to compare, we reinforce our self-worth, as it shows us that we are complete just as we are. This freedom from comparison creates a deep inner peace, allowing us to focus on what truly matters to us rather than striving to meet someone else's standards. This unique individual path builds resilience as it allows us to walk our journey with confidence and grace. The Stoic principle of accepting impermanence also supports authentic living. Life is constantly changing, and many of the things we hold on to, people, achievements, possessions, are temporary. By accepting impermanence, we release our attachment to things that don't define us, allowing us to focus on what is enduring. This acceptance builds resilience as it reminds us that our worth doesn't rely on external factors, but on our own actions and values. Each moment of acceptance frees us to live without clinging, creating a life that feels rich and fulfilling without the need to accumulate or hold on to things. This freedom from attachment fosters a pure, authentic existence as it shows us that we are valuable for who we are, not for what we own or achieve. Another crucial Stoic practice for living authentically is the focus on self-reliance. Authenticity requires that we trust ourselves, our instincts, and our choices, even when they don't align with popular opinion. By cultivating self-reliance, we build an inner strength that doesn't depend on others' approval or guidance. Each time we rely on ourselves, we strengthen our belief in our own abilities, creating a confidence that is unshaken by external influences. This self-reliance builds resilience as it reminds us that we are capable of guiding our own lives, that we don't need to follow others to feel secure. This inner trust fosters a fearless approach to life, allowing us to pursue our own path without fear of judgment or failure. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of embracing vulnerability in the pursuit of authenticity. Often we avoid vulnerability out of fear of rejection, failure, or disappointment. But Stoicism teaches that vulnerability is a strength, a willingness to show up as we are without the need for perfection. Each moment of vulnerability reinforces our confidence as it shows us that we are enough just as we are, that we don't need to hide or shield ourselves to be worthy. This openness builds resilience as it reminds us that we can face life's uncertainties without fear. This courage to be vulnerable fosters a genuine, fearless approach to living, allowing us to experience life fully and deeply without holding back. The Stoic practice of detachment is also essential for authentic living. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means freeing ourselves from the need to control every outcome or gain others' approval. By practicing detachment, we release the need for constant validation, focusing instead on what feels true and right for us. This freedom from attachment to outcomes builds resilience, as it reminds us that our worth isn't defined by success or failure. Each moment of detachment strengthens our confidence as it shows us that we are complete, regardless of how things turn out. This detachment fosters a fearless approach to life, allowing us to pursue our goals and dreams without fear of judgment or failure. our passions without the weight of expectations. Another vital aspect of authentic living is the pursuit of purpose. When we are clear about our purpose, we gain a sense of direction that transcends temporary desires or distractions. This purpose-based living brings meaning to our actions, reminding us that our lives have value beyond superficial goals. Each day that we live in alignment with our purpose builds resilience, as it reinforces our belief in our own worth. This sense of purpose fosters a deep, lasting confidence, allowing us to live without fear of judgment or doubt. This clarity of purpose creates an authentic, fearless existence, as it shows us that we are capable of contributing to something greater than ourselves. Gratitude also plays a significant role in the Stoic path to authenticity. By focusing on the abundance in our lives, our relationships, experiences, and opportunities, we cultivate a mindset of fulfillment rather than lack. This gratitude-based approach builds resilience as it shifts our focus from what we want to what we have. Each moment of gratitude strengthens our self-worth, showing us that we are already enough and that our lives are filled with value. This gratitude fosters a peaceful, contented way of living, allowing us to pursue our own path without the pressure of accumulation or achievement. Another powerful Stoic principle for authenticity is maintaining perspective. Often, we become consumed by minor setbacks or external opinions, losing sight of what truly matters. By keeping perspective, we see life as a whole, recognizing that our worth isn't defined by one moment or one opinion. This perspective builds resilience, as it reminds us that we are more than any single experience. Each moment of perspective strengthens our confidence, as it shows us that we are capable of facing life's ups and downs with grace. This balanced approach fosters an authentic, fearless way of living, allowing us to stay grounded in our own truth. Through these Stoic practices, we create a life that is both authentic and fearless. A life that is guided by our own values and free from the constraints of others' expectations. This path doesn't eliminate challenges. It empowers us to face them with strength, courage, and resilience, rooted in a confidence that is unshaken by external influences. As we close this journey into Stoic wisdom for unshakable confidence, we've uncovered practical and powerful ways to build an inner foundation of strength. From understanding the true source of confidence, embracing inner validation, and setting resilient boundaries, to mastering emotional control, viewing setbacks as growth, and learning to live fearlessly. We now hold a blueprint for a life anchored in self-assurance and authenticity. Each of these lessons is a reminder that confidence isn't given or measured by others. It's cultivated within by aligning with our values, accepting our imperfections, and walking our unique path with courage and purpose. If any of these insights resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear about the Stoic lesson you found most impactful and how you plan to use it in your life. Your perspective could inspire someone else on their own journey. And if you're ready for more on Stoicism, mindset, and self-mastery, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you never miss out on our next dive into wisdom. Thank you for being here on this path of growth and strength. Conclusion. In conclusion, Stoicism offers us a timeless guide to building unshakable confidence, living authentically, and facing life with fearless resolve. By aligning with our inner values, embracing imperfection, and practicing gratitude, we can cultivate a deep sense of self-worth that isn't tied to external opinions or fleeting outcomes. These principles empower us to move through challenges with courage, resilience, and clarity of purpose, creating a life of fulfillment and meaning. Remember, confidence and authenticity are not about perfection. They're about being true to who you are and navigating your journey with strength and grace. Let these Stoic insights inspire you to break free from limitations and embrace your unique path with courage and purpose. If these ideas resonate with you, share your favorite takeaway in the comments below. Let us know how Stoicism is shaping your journey and inspire others with your story. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an opportunity to explore more Stoic wisdom. Together, we can continue to grow, strengthen our mindset, and live boldly. Thank you for being part of this journey toward greater confidence and inner peace.